There we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 43rd session of the Devouring Dark. Well, as far as last time, what happened last time? Restart. Oh, yes, in the middle of a fight. So, the Black Slatty was felled after not very long of a time. And, you guys managed to relatively free the settlement after some working around, flying around, doing all kinds of weird stuff. What else? You were wandering around for a while in the camp, trying to get the slaves free. That happened.
I think I'm still currently doing that.
Yeah, one of your character is
Yes. Let's see. And Lily is having fun, riding around on a big green man.
Yep.
That's right.
Stone
Yeah.
thrower.
Yeah, rock thrower, technically.
Rock thrower, stone thrower.
Rock thrower,
Close
stone
enough.
thrower, same difference.
Same kind of material.
It's a weird name for a troll, but nobody's ever really asked him about it.
Own troll hunter.
So, and Howler went on the big screen. That was interesting.
Some behind him, just
Yeah.
like saying, holding his book like liar. No, he's not, and all that.
Yeah, but you're not entirely sure of the effect of that, but you'll have to wander around, see what happened. And the only other thing that I can think of is you attempted to cure the mice, and when you actually managed to cast cure, remove curse. That's the one. Not cure curse.
Our friends went kind of in a stand off, stare off, and now our son is just like, oh god, what did I do?
Yeah, and I think his name is Alatar, is now stuck in some sort of trance.
Thanks, Alasan.
Stuck in some
How
sort
could
of
he have
trance,
known?
like state. It's true. Curses usually just go away. Especially with the spell remove curse.
Just not in my case.
You seem to be stuck in some sort of layered reality, maybe? You're not entirely sure what this place is.
Yeah, I have the most brilliant idea of what's going to happen soon, as I also can't find a way to get him out of his trance, so just go on telling, I will tell that later.
We'll get to that in a second. And the last thing that Alatar remembered seeing was a large stone wall, beige stone in color, kind of looks like sandstone. Just erupted from the ground, and everything around it didn't seem to be affected by it. And
I thought he saw the mice grow to like a humongous size.
Yes, he had a weird vision before this happened, technically. And there's an entranceway into this wall that appeared. So that is where we left off, but to keep everyone in suspense about what that stone wall could possibly mean, we're going to move on to somebody else. So, what's his name? Goroth?
Yeah.
Yes. We're picking up with you just after Alatar is whisked away from you by an enthusiastic Arosan. You're still attempting to free some slaves. There's still, even after that announcement, there's still people who are being like whipped and forced into labor to build these buildings. It seems like they aren't entirely sure what happened up there, but they're sure that it's not good, but they're still trying to keep the slaves in mind. So I'll say that you're near a group of slaves currently being quote unquote tasked by their taskmaster. What do you want to do?
I'll tell that taskmaster to stop what he's doing right now and set them free.
And in the middle of your sentence, you hear whoosh from his whip. And he looks over at you and he's like, "Who are you?"
Well, I'm Gorath, but that doesn't really matter. You should still let the slaves go.
Right. And whose authority?
Didn't you hear the big screen up earlier?
Well, yes, but I just assumed that that was Howler getting up to his old tricks.
Well, and if you look over there, and I point towards the direction I've gone, do you see any slaves in that direction?
He actually looks over and he is going to make a perception check. Doopity doop doo doop doo 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 doo. Need to put in his number. There we go. He looks over and he goes, "Strangely enough, no. What have you done, you elven blood? You still appear to be an elf."
Oh yeah, I should do something about this. I'm gonna try to make myself look not elven by disguising myself, if that works.
Yes, the disguise self spell. Are you casting it like using a spell slot?
Yeah, using a spell slot this time, because I used the racial one.
Okay. So, yes, you do change. It just seems like it changed your native form
Okay,
into
so
something different. So you can change into whatever you want.
that way I'll change into the god again, because that seems to be a thing.
Seems to work relatively well. Although some people are unconvinced by it, but we'll see how this guy reacts.
Is this better if you don't prefer elves?
He is going to make an insight check in to see what you're trying to do rather than read your facial expressions or whatnot. He goes, "So, I guess you're not trying to upset me. That would be too brazen. So what is your purpose in doing this?"
No, I don't normally look like an elf, so I figured this might be better. But anyways, let's get to the point. You're still releasing those slaves.
He looks back the other way that you mentioned, and he actually sees a couple of former slaves just walking around free, and he looks back at you and he says, "If I fight you, I'm not gonna win, am I?"
I shake my head.
He goes, "Huh. All right, go." And one of them is sort of laying on the ground, holding his back from a fresh whip wound. But another guy comes up beside him and sort of picks him up, and they sort of just leave the area. And he just looks at you and he says, "Must be pretty powerful."
I mean, I heard that Traxian guy was pretty powerful, wasn't he?
"Whatever you say, buddy." And he starts walking away.
Yeah, I'll walk over to another group. seeing the
All right,
situation.
so you make a perception check. Actually.
Perception.
Yes.
That's performance. Perception.
You do a little jig. It's not very good, but you do one.
The perception is good. Turn the jig.
Yeah. You start doing a little jig and you look around because you're perhaps
it
you're
helps me
happy.
because normally.
I was going to say that perhaps you're happy because of what you're managing to accomplish in such a little amount of time being here.
This is way easier than Limbo.
So
Yeah,
I go back.
The the denizens of Limbo tend to be very staunchly one alignment or another. So yes.
Yeah, so why ever go back when you can have this where everything is chaos?
Well, we'll see in a second. You have a look around, and you do notice a couple of groups of slaves, though you notice near the edge of where the houses are being built, you see what looks like a large group of people, as well as a large group of animals along with them, currently being harassed by a number of these cult members at the edge of the encampment area. Which
Okay.
I can actually bring up the map if you wish.
So I just see a bunch of them there.
Yeah, you see a bunch of people and a bunch of cultists. Just
Yeah, you see a bunch of people getting harassed by the cultists.
They're over in this area, over here.
I'm
And
gonna
I'll say
start
that you're
running.
currently about here.
I'm gonna start running that way then, because I see them attacking or harassing or whatever it is.
Yeah, it seems like there's a loud verbal argument going on. You're a little bit too far away to actually hear what's being said, but there's a loud verbal argument happening. And there's shoving happening. And threatening with weapons happening to various members of the group.
Do you perhaps anything that could like split them apart? Not like in the body sense, but more in like group sense.
No, I'm
So
just
they
running
can
that way. Because I don't.
He's heading in that direction. That's fine for now.
Yeah.
So you're started off about here. So you're headed down towards approximately where it says this rock thrower sitting place, but a little bit to the east of that, I suppose. A little bit to the east of that, around the circle. And you just start heading in that direction. As you get close, make a perception check. Another one.
Did I lose them? No.
Alright. You're doing pretty well for having a negative one. So you have a listen to what's being said, and you hear, you see a human in relatively heavy armor, with a sword and a shield out, and he's actually getting in front of somebody else who looks a little bit weaker than he does, half-elven in appearance. He has a shield out in front of him, and he goes, "Can you hear that message up there?" And the cultist says, "Yeah, that's Howler. We've heard of his deceptiveness. Doesn't mean anything." And he's just like, "We're not getting anywhere." And the half-elven woman behind him is saying, "I can't do anything. I can't charm him or anything." And the guy's like, "Hey, I heard that." The cultist.
How many of the cultists are there?
There's a group of like 5 of them, and the other group seems bigger, but it seems like they're trying not to get in a physical confrontation.
Okay. So I'll walk towards the small or the cultists and tell them what's happening here.
All right. The other group sees you approaching, and actually the human is looking at you and seems wary of you approaching.
I'm
He's
still
not sure what your
Traxian.
intentions are.
I'm still Traxian currently.
Yeah, he still doesn't know what you're approaching and gonna say.
Yeah, it's fine.
So he looks a bit wary of you. Some of the others in the group seem to be more focused on the ones that are already there. And there's a couple of these weird-looking dog-like creatures that don't have any fur, and they have these weird spines on their backs and other parts of their bodies. And one of them looks over at you and goes,
I tried to go over and calm the dog with my perfect animal handling of
Oh
6.
God!
it goes, ruff, ruff. And it actually sort of turns to the side a little bit, and its spine sort of arc towards you.
Hey, come down, boy. I'm here to help. And I look towards the humans and the other ones.
It just looks at the dog, continues to be in a wary stance towards you, but it doesn't seem to be attacking you yet.
So yeah, what's going on there?
The human says, the human you haven't met before, or doesn't look like a cultist, he looks over to you and he says, "You're new? When did you arrive?" And the cultist says, "Why don't you just shut up and... Why don't you shut up?"
No, it's okay. You can be the one shutting up. Because you asked me a question and I'm about to answer it.
Ooh, sass.
I arrived not too long ago. I came from Limbo.
The human just looks sort of confused and he says, "So, I guess that place is being attacked as well."
No, the shadow doesn't seem to be able to manifest in Limbo.
Well, I guess that's good for one place. And the cult member is like, one of the cult members goes up to the human and says, "Hey, wait a minute, what do you got? This isn't a normal situation here. These guys are under arrest."
No, they're not.
"Under whose authority?"
Under Traxian. I point to myself.
"I see that you're appearing as him. Your voice sounds a little different."
Yeah, and so was the other slutty from Limbo. And you've been following their orders, haven't you?
Alright, make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. I'm gonna do with advantage, because I can. 28.
Oh boy.
Yeah, great.
Natty.
Let me see.
Oh my. Alright, 51.
That's...
Didn't he roll it once before?
I'm not sure. We'll see.
48,
He has the list.
16. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay, so somebody randomly within 10 feet of me smells strongly of cabbage and cannot wash the smell off.
Okay.
And anyone within 10 feet, including me.
Within 10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 3 people within 10 feet of you. There's a half-elven woman. There is a human male. And there is a cult member. So I'm going to roll a D.
So I'm number 4 then. If you roll a D4.
Okay, I'll roll a D4. Alright. The half-elf sort of curls up her nose and says, what is that smell? And the human goes for a second while this guy is being persuaded. And he just sort of looks at you and he goes, "Slatty, you say?"
Yeah, I nod. Is there anything else you might want to ask before I continue my conversation with the gentleman over there.
Yeah, and even you are noticing that there's a strange smell in the air. You're not sure where it's coming from?
I just look around, but I have a pretty low perception, so I don't even notice where it's from.
Yeah, you look and you saw the other two just sort of wince a little bit, and the guy is sort of just checking his pits, but you're not sure. The cultist says, well, I'll go and check in, see what's going on up there. Come on.
Yep.
And he takes his arresting party, or lynch mob, however you want to look at it.
Let's just call it a lynch mob because it sounds more like a lynch mob than anything else.
He sort of motions for them to follow him, and they start heading towards the temple.
That's only cult members, right? They don't take
Yeah,
anyone else with them. Yeah, okay.
Only cult members. And as soon as they leave, the smell seems to go away.
Boy.
Okay, so it's with them.
And the human male goes, and he just sort of crosses his arms. And the female goes, okay, so who are you?
Oh yeah, I'm Gurath, and I take out my hand to greet.
All right. She reaches her hand out, shakes it, and she says, I'm Zil. And
greetings.
And the human male says, I'm Jaden.
Jaden.
Yeah, shakes your hand.
So what were you guys doing here?
And you see, as you start talking to them, the rest of the group sees that everything is fine. You notice quite a few strange characters with them. And I'll say that since this was, then I don't have to go into detail describing them. They start walking past into the camp to see what's going on. Though the younglings, as I've been calling them, they seem oddly standoffish with one of the people that is being escorted along with them. You do notice that just right off the bat. But the human and the half-elf seem to be willing to talk to you. And she goes, what was it that you last said? Sorry.
So what are you doing here? Because no, I just saw a bunch of people there, and they didn't seem like slaves, so that's why I was asking it.
Well, the male pipes up. We came from... And he sort of motions to the exterior of this area, which is... You're now noticing is a dense jungle-looking area. You've seen them on Limbo, but usually they're just on random pieces of rock floating through space, sort of thing. So you know what jungle is, but it's weird. It's actually weird for you to see it all in one place. Not
you
just
didn't expect
random
it to
all
be
over the place.
so thick, so to say.
Yes. And he sort of motions towards the jungle. He says,
how long does the jungle go on for? It seems pretty large from what I can see.
Well, I'm not entirely sure now that you mention it. He starts thinking, and I'm actually going to pull up the world map. See if I can approximate a distance for you. World map. I think I went past it there. Just I'll bring that up. Screen share, come on. I hate how the word screen share covers up the screen share button sometimes, and it takes forever for me to actually do what I want to do. Anyway, So, here's the world map, and it's a world approximately. It's a little bit smaller than Earth. So, he goes on to describe what this place is like, and you've heard of the material plane before, but you've never actually, like, you may have the Gith that you were with may have had a book or two on it, so you just have like illustrations and descriptions to go off of. It's a pretty big jungle. And the reason that I say it's smaller than Earth is because your travel time would be a lot longer if it was the size of Earth. So it's smaller than Earth. So I'd say it's a few hundred, maybe even a few thousand square kilometers or miles of jungle. It's a pretty big jungle. So he goes ahead and tells you that.
Oh, that's strange.
You've heard of a location like that, but I'll say roll a history check to see if you remember what it's called or any information about it. Right. With an 11, you remember the name, the Euclid, but
So
most of
we're in
it's
the
ancient
Euclid.
history, so it wouldn't be entirely useful to present day.
We must be in the Euclid then, I'd say.
He looks at you and he says, I actually forgot that that's what it was called. Thank you for reminding me. Now I can actually tell people where to go if I ever see random people.
Yeah, I think I read it somewhere. It seems it's the only big jungle I've ever read about it. So
He sort of is taken aback and he says, well, there's a big forest, but jungle is pretty much the only one on the material plane that I know of. Well, anyway, any other questions? You might want to go around and save a few more people.
yeah, that seems
you were
like
doing
a
a
good
good
idea.
job yourself.
I got a bit distracted, but the Euclid. Do you know anything else about it?
This area, you mean?
Yeah,
Well,
I haven't traversed here before.
the
Or
normal
the
jungle
material
fauna.
plane, if that helps.
You're from a different plane, you said?
Yeah.
Oh. Things from different planes have been showing up around here. Not surprising. The woman actually pipes up and says, I've never been here before, so unless you have any other questions for me, I'm gonna go save some people. See what I can do.
Sounds like a plan.
She darts off, and you look at her as she walks by, and you see that she has a fiddle on her back. And whatever you take from that, you can take whatever you will.
Yeah.
And he says, he actually had his sword and his shield out up to this point, and he actually decides to sheathe it, put it away. And he says, well, the normal jungle fauna isn't really all that's here anymore. They were running away from this big black thing that was sort of taking over the world.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It tried to come into limbo as well, but it couldn't.
Maybe it's learning, trying to figure out a way to get in there.
I think that's highly unlikely, but sure.
He shrugs. Either way, it's probably a lot easier to get around here than... Where did you say you were from again?
Limbo. And I suppose it was easier to get around in limbo. I often wouldn't have to walk because I could just float on rocks.
That's interesting. And since he's an NPC, I'm not going to just interact with you. He's going to ask you questions about limbo, and he'll give you basic information that his character would be aware of. So, like, random things that would be in the jungle, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
At least the things that he's encountered so far.
That's fair.
Alright, so we'll switch back to Edo-san. We're not going to switch back to Alatar quite yet.
Quite yet.
To leave everybody in suspense for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
it's like, this is bad. It is bad.
Yeah, he is tied up because you wanted to
I released him from the chair.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's where we were last time, so you can do that. But
yeah, so
I'm just going to get you into the mindset of where you were before. Yeah. You brought up a chair and you tied him to it, and it seems like he is involuntarily attempting to stand in a straight up position.
Yeah. So I also gets his head out and cut the ropes on him, and is like, oh god, this is bad. Paper. Grabs his notebook and writes real quick on a note in common. Get help, get a young healer, get all the healer, get anything, get whatever. This is bad. Then pins it on to DT and tells him to get help.
Alright. DT looks down at you, and he looks at this weird thing attached to him, and then he nods, and then starts running off. Anything else you want to do?
Mention where it was. DT will lead them.
Yep, he sure will. So anything else you want to do in this immediate vicinity?
I'm gonna try and stand between the mouse and Alatar to see if he might step around me or try to move me to get to line of sight again. Alright,
so you're gonna attempt to get in front of the mouse, you said?
No, like between them, like to break line of sight between the two.
Okay. You do so, and it looks like they're staring right through you.
Okay, this is not good. So he steps out the way and and
you know what's odd? Make a perception check, actually.
Okay, let me just... Where did it go? Perception. 19.
Alright. With a 19, you notice that the other mouse is fine. It's just sort of looking at the situation, not really sure what to do.
So you have also no clue what's going on?
The mouse looks up at you and goes, "Meep!" And it actually looks like it's shrugging at you.
Oh boy. Can you write like your older looking friend?
It looks at the stick, and it picks up the stick, and it attempts to write something in common, but it's the equivalent of a small child attempting to spell words. Doesn't use proper spelling. Its writing is really hard to read, and it doesn't seem like it's doing too well. You are now becoming more aware of how people in this world tend to not be very educated. Though you can attempt to read what he says.
I'm going to attempt to, at least. I might have luck in
it. Make an investigation. That would be the most apt.
Investigation. Something I'm really good at. Let's hope I won't roll low. And I do!
10. It's too shaky. The letters aren't coming out right. It seems like even if this person was a human, they probably wouldn't be that good at writing. And it sort of looks at your expression, your puzzled expression as you.
Yeah, I just say, yeah, I can't read that. Sorry.
It puts the stick down and goes, "Meep," and points its face down.
Arsene slowly reaches down with a finger and pets it. Goes like, "You tried."
It just looks up at you.
Well, my big friend is getting help, so I guess that's good.
It shrugs.
So Arsene picks up the older-looking mouse and puts it in his chair, so that Oliver doesn't have to look all the way down, but this time can look a bit up.
Alright, as you pick it up, it continuously attempts to turn to look at him, and he continuously turns to look at it, depending on where you move it.
Yeah, just I'm guessing about maybe be 5 feet now. Well, 5 feet up now, that's a bit much. How much would you say to, like, the seat of the chair, would you say that it is up?
3 feet?
Yeah, about 3 feet up.
That would be the maximum I would go up
Yeah.
for you. So. Sure. That happens.
So
Anything else you do while you're waiting?
So Arson's go like, maybe this will help, and he casts Cure Wounds. Perhaps he's just guessing by now. Maybe it helps.
Alright, who are you casting it on?
On Alatar, because he's the one who casted it. So guessing that he is the one that might be broken with.
Alright, go ahead. Roll your
At
healing.
second level. That's an 8 plus 6. That's 14.
So according to your health, you gain 14. Alatar. You gain 14 health.
If you lost any, so I was just getting out. Boy, this is not it.
James, did you catch that?
What?
I was just asking James if he got it. Because it's muted.
He's
I'm
muted.
listening.
Okay.
Alright. Just
I had
making
a
sure
vacuum
you
hang up.
heard. Yeah, just making sure you heard that you got healed if you have any hit points missing.
Cool.
For 4. Yeah, you get
Sorry, my
right.
cat knocked down a big old rock, so I had to clean it up.
Yeah.
That's alright.
Dawson goes like, oh boy.
So if you look in the roll 20, the health that's there is yours to heal.
Cool, thank you.
For now, 8 plus 6, that's 14.
Alright, so Ado-san?
He just tries to figure out how he might be able to help. So he does maybe detect. Well, detect magic wouldn't do anything, and that if I would do anything, Shield of Faith wouldn't do anything.
Detect magic would show you if there's magic there.
Well,
and
yeah.
what
School of Magic.
So if you wanted, that might be marginally helpful.
Well, yeah, maybe they want to know what's going on. So yeah, detect magic, which I can cast for free because I can do it as a ritual.
Alright, so as you're doing the ritual, we'll say that I'll give you the information, but technically before you finish the ritual, somebody will have gotten there. But I'll give you the information.
We've gotten there with DT.
Okay.
At least if it is the person that is coming with DT, because I don't know if it is the person coming with DT.
Yeah, somebody will have approached you by that time, but I won't tell you who or why yet.
Or with who he is, or how or what.
I'm just looking up the schools of magic.
If you have the player handbook, you can look at the wizard.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because they most of the time have the most kind of magic in their list.
Okay. It would be in School of Enchantment.
Enchantment.
Yes. I can give you a description.
Yeah, it's a remove curse, but I didn't expect it to be there, since I really didn't dig into that part yet.
Enchantment, it's usually mind control or behavior influencing magic.
Yes. Yep. Some enchanters are peacemakers who bewitch the violent to lay down their arms and charm the cruel into showing mercy. Others are tyrants who magically blind the unwilling into their service. Or bind, not blind.
Second one is better.
Yeah, it sounds what's going on with the mouse, but not with there, because he is doing remove curse. So this might be something of the enchantment that's going on.
Yeah, both of them are glowing. Like, they are intensely glowing. And you look at the other mouse, the other mouse is glowing a little bit, but not nearly as much. Let's see.
You said
The
there was a
other
person
mouse,
by me by now. Oh, the other mouse. Did he get any friends, perhaps?
the other mouse is glowing with the School of Transmutation.
Oh. Okay.
Which is to change matter into other matter.
Yeah. So that's something.
It would align with his story that they were humans changed into mice.
Yeah. But then John, when that's there, and so with so just looking at, okay, this is
Two
good happening.
Alatar is glowing with enchantment, and so is the mouse.
Okay, that's less good. Alatar's just looking around like, please don't have, please, I just hope I don't fucked up.
Alright, so you'll technically get that information when someone else arrives.
Yeah.
So, now we are finally going to switch back to Alatar. Alatar, you are standing in front of a large sandstone-looking type wall that has an entrance within it, or on the right side of it.
Okay.
And your nose is still got a little bit of dried blood left over from the assault of that weird mouse that grew and shrank.
That stupid mouse.
What do you want to do? Large stone wall in front of you.
Guess I should turn around.
You turn around and actually make a perception check.
Oh yay! Here goes evolving again.
14? You look behind you and you start staring into the distance. You don't really see anything clearly. Just a bunch of blobs of blur. And if you turn around and look back at the wall is hyper realistic, if I can use that term.
And I guess it's time to walk towards the blobs.
Alright, you turn towards the blobs. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's ought to be good.
13. Something interesting is going to happen. You start walking forward, and it's as if you're hitting very, very strong wind, and you get pushed back towards the wall.
You could check your spell book or just if you have something.
If he can check it, that is.
You look down, you see your spell book, or
Well,
technically you don't have one, but
just word.
you still remember your spells, and you sort of just activate a little bit of magical energy, less than a cantrip's worth, and you can still use magic.
Yeah, but what would work?
It's up to you to find out. Erosan, when he uses that magic, he doesn't change anyway. Just so that way you're aware.
Okay.
Big stone wall with an entryway.
Oh,
Weird,
I guess we'll go
blurry blobs on the other way.
get blown
Up to you.
back, so I guess we'll go for the entryway.
All right. You begin to walk towards the entryway, and you sort of glance around before you immediately enter. So you sort of look inside. There's a ceiling on the other side. So it appears to be a structure of some sort. Like a building maybe, you're not sure. You look forward, you see a path going forward, and you see a path going left. And to the right is a wall.
Let's go
On
left.
on the inside of the entrance.
Oh, okay. Well, might as well walk through and go left.
Alright. You walk through the entryway, you hear, and you look behind you, and a stone slab begins to slide over the entryway.
Alright, no going back now.
You look back, you look the way that goes forward, you can see, you have devil's sight, so even if it was really dark, you'd be able to see anyway, but you can see it in color, but there doesn't seem to be any source of light in here. You look forward, you see a hallway that continues along for quite a while, and you see a wall at the far end. You look left, same thing, a hallway that goes on for a while and it ends.
I'll go left.
Alright, you continue to go left. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so you start going left, and you feel like you're walking for about 2 minutes, and then you see in front of you a wall, and to your right is a path that continues. And you look around the corner a little bit, you see a path that goes right, and then there's a wall on this particular section. There's a wall, and then there's a wall on the farther end that's a little bit further away.
Okay, I'm in a maze. Got it. Go right.
Oh boy.
You turn into the right path, and as you do, you hear, and the path behind you begins to close. The wall seems to move.
Well, keep going forward for now.
All right.
Hope you don't get to any bad dead ends.
I know, right?
And you hear a rumbling in front of you as well. Somewhere in front of you, you're not sure where. Because you don't see anything moving in front of you. There's a wall far away in front of you. That's all you can see from here.
Just a tip out there. Look up, is there a roof above you? No. Use some kind of magic to get up high and then walk over the maze.
There is a ceiling.
Damn it.
It's a labyrinth.
Can you perhaps blow up the walls? I don't know if you can do that.
He can try anything he wants. He can just try to solve the maze manually. He can use spells to attempt to aid him. He can do whatever he wants.
I'm going to feel so bad if I get him killed or anything.
I'll keep going straight for now.
Alright, you head straight. You get to the wall, and you look to your left and to your right. There are paths in both directions. And you notice that when you look to the right, the path is a lot longer than you remember turning around in to be in here. Like, you would think that there would be a wall there, that the wall that you entered through would be there. It seems like the path goes past that boundary.
Let's go that way. Let's go right. Curious.
Alright. You start walking in that direction. And the path continues. You get about halfway towards where the wall is that's ahead of you. And you see a path going right. There's still the path in front of you.
Go straight.
Alright. You ignore the path to the right. And as you begin to walk down this forward path, you hear. And you see that path to the right close off.
Okay.
You continue forward. And you get to what looks like a T section. So you can go left and right, and you're on the bottom of the T. And as you reach this intersection, you hear. And you see the wall in front of you begin to open, and it becomes a cross section.
Go straight.
Alright, you continue heading straight, and this is way past the boundary of that wall that you first entered. You start going forward, and you look to those other two paths. Those other two paths close as you walk forward.
Okay.
Alright, now, let's see. I'm gonna get you, at this point, to make a survival check. Alright, so you're not managing to get lost. You still have your orientation at this point. You do remember that there was a wall there, but it's kind of weird. You can still remember the path back if you needed to, but if it's open or not, you're not sure. You continue forward and make a perception check after this. Perception check. Alright, continue forward, and you hear a in the distance.
That could be anything.
It literally could.
I must keep going forward.
Alright, you're headed in that direction. You turn to you get to the path continues before you, and there's two paths, one to the left and one to the right. You hear coming from the right path.
Yeah, let's go right.
Alright, you start heading in that direction, and as soon as you cross a certain threshold, this time it's not even slow, it just goes right down, right fast this time. Behind you. There's no way back at this point.
Okay.
So you continue forward, I would assume.
Oh yeah. Can't go nowhere else.
Alright. So you continue forward, and the sound of continues getting louder and louder as you progress. And you
Okay.
actually reach a room that is sort of open. It's no longer these maze-like pathways. It's a larger open square. And you see something that you might not have expected. You see 3 bird statues above what looks like a xylophone. And the noises are coming from the birds. They're like statues, and rocks are coming out of their mouths and hitting each of those notes and falling to the floor. And then when it hits the floor, the last one hits the floor, it seems to reset. So the rocks go back to the birds' mouths somehow, and the pattern repeats.
Interesting.
And that's up against from where you're coming in, the left wall. The right wall has a similar xylophone, though the birds are in different locations above it. So what do you want to do?
Only the left one's playing. I'll go check out the right one.
Alright. The one on the right is motionless. There's the xylophone, which just looks like an ordinary xylophone. It doesn't have any magnificent colors or anything like ones in our world have. They're just the same color as the stone the place is made out of. There are 3 rocks, and there are 3 bird statues. The rocks are underneath the bird statues.
And the birds are okay.
But the bird statues are in different locations.
But I can tell where the rocks would fall? Are they gonna
If
statues?
you were to... I'll describe this a little bit better. The rocks are just sort of sitting underneath the statues.
Mhm.
You could potentially pick one up and do something with it if you wanted to.
It's like drop it like under where the statue would be at on the xylophone.
Sure, you can attempt to do that. If that's what you wish.
That's what I'll do.
You pick it up. Sort of just drop it on where Are you dropping it where the statue is on the right one, or are you dropping it where the statues are on the left one?
On the right one.
Alright? You drop it and it goes dong.
That sounds
I'll put it
heavy.
back down.
And when the rock hits the floor, it resets back to its position.
Then I'll do it with the other two rocks as well.
Nothing
The
happens.
left one's a huh. But the rocks reset. Okay.
Yeah, and the rocks go back each time.
So is that one playing on its own now, or is it just by itself?
The right one is motionless unless if you interact it with it, and the one on the left is still playing.
Huh. Guess I could try to go to the left one and play what the right one did.
All right, fair enough. You drop it on the same notes. Nothing happens. In fact, each time you throw one of those things at the xylophone, the order resets on the xylophone. So it attempts to play the same three notes, but when you play the wrong one, it just resets it.
Okay. How about if I try to catch the rocks before they hit the xylophone?
All right. Make a dexterity check. All right. You catch the first one, and it actually stops it. The other two play, and then it suddenly doesn't do anything. The rocks are on the floor. The notes aren't being continually played anymore. All right. So it is at that point. I do have preparations in case you get completely flummoxed. So, hear a noise from the way that you came in. If you would have continued forward, that wall of this square, you hear a shh noise come from that wall. You can make a perception check if you wish, but otherwise you can continue what you're doing.
I'll make a perception check to see.
Okay. With a 19, you see that there is a small mouse-sized hole with it's about halfway up the wall. It's about at your eye level, and it's got the same archway, and a little tray has appeared out from that hole.
Can I put the rock I'm holding into that tray?
Sure. It goes into the tray, and it fits nicely.
Seems like you perhaps have solved it.
Kind of, yeah.
And the curse said you weren't powerful enough.
You wait a minute or two, and you see a little mouse head go beep, beep, and it takes the rock and goes into the hole. The tray slides in, and the hole goes closes.
There's 3 rocks. Yeah, should have caught all 3.
Boy, this is one tough cookie to crack.
So, a couple seconds later, you see the mouse suddenly be floating above the left xylophone.
Okay.
It seems like it's floating in the air with its back legs. Looks like it's hanging from something, but it's holding the stone front paws and it's hanging down that way. And it drops the rock onto the note that it was supposed to play. And then it falls to the floor. And then it resets.
So the mouse wants to play music. Okay.
So do that with all 3 stones.
It points to the other one on the
Yeah.
other side.
So do that with all stones, I guess. Give them all to a mouse.
That's what I was thinking. But the other one's got reset, and it's not, is the right one not playing, or they're just sitting there?
The right one is motionless, not doing anything.
And the rocks are back on the ground, right?
The ones
Or
on
did
the
they reset?
left keep hitting the notes, and then they reset and hit the notes again. The ones on the right are just in their place they were when you came in.
Okay, can I try playing the music myself without the rocks?
Sure,
Since I can see where it would drop at.
sure. Go ahead. So you can approximate. You're going to play the same notes as the one on the left on the right one?
Yes, let's go with that.
Okay. You go do do do, and the rocks suddenly go up into the statues, and the statues go into position, and then the rocks go. Seems like it's playing the same notes, and the wall where the mouse came through just goes. And before you get to see what is behind that wall, we will switch back. So, Gora.
I hate you.
Gora,
I hate you.
you had a very interesting conversation with the human, but there are still people who are captured. What do you want to do?
I got a bit lost in conversation, but afterwards I had to leave. And I remember slaves was in.
Alright. You start going towards where you noticed that there were other slaves. Seems like these people that were with the human are already doing your work for you. They're threatening them, they're doing whatever it takes to get the slaves free.
But is everyone free now, or are you just doing the process of it?
You're looking around. It seems like these other guys have it under control. But if you wish, you can have a look around to see if you can find any more that are currently being dealt with.
Whoever's remaining. Looking for anyone not being held at the moment.
Sure. You can make a perception check for that.
Also, is Matt laying for you guys, or just me? Am I lagging? Probably.
Am I lagging for everybody?
Yeah, I'll be right.
I
No, you're good. It's
guess
just Geo was lagging
What?
again.
Am I lagging?
No, I think somebody was lagging. Was it Ben?
not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that was
Ben
it.
is
Just a little bit.
gone currently, and I need to switch PCs.
Okay.
The time has come.
So I'll be gone anyway for just a moment.
All right.
Okay.
So be right back.
All right.
We'll be here.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, no one was answering you. But anyway, so you're gonna go find another person, make a perception check, or you're gonna try to find more slaves that aren't free. Okay.
No, anyone that seems like they need help or are enslaved.
Yeah. You look around. You don't see anybody in the immediate vicinity. You look further, and it seems like they're being rescued by other people. It seems like you've rescued enough people that other people are starting to get in on doing that.
Okay. I guess I've done a good job there then. I've done.
Make another perception check, actually, for a separate reason.
11.
Well, this one's pretty obvious, but you see a large construct just going up to people, waving its arms around erratically, and people don't really seem to be paying attention to it.
I'll walk up to it.
Alright, you walk up to it, and you see a large construct. You've seen it before, with that weird elven guy. And it starts waving its arms in front of you, and then it points to its chest, which has this weird piece of paper on it.
I take the paper.
Alright? And it says, "Please bring help." It's very unspecific.
Do you need help? I asked the construct.
It starts pointing towards the temple.
Okay. Just show me who needs help.
It starts running off towards the temple.
Yeah, I'll follow it then.
You're gonna follow it?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. Now we're switching back to Adosan, but he's not here. Actually, since I can, since Lily is doing weird stuff,
Still.
I'll say, Gorath, while you're attempting to get there, you notice that Lily is just sort of going around to people, making sure that they're okay, but riding on the back of a large green guy while doing so.
Yeah.
Yelling obnoxiously.
No voice today.
I'll help you!
No, that was almost that.
Yelling at us, so just to
No.
other people, right?
At random people.
Yeah, then
about
I'll
right.
Seems
keep
like there's a
moving.
couple of people running away from her because she's riding a large green guy that is chasing people down, and she's yelling, "I'll help you."
Again, sounds about right.
yeah, I'll just keep moving with the robot because nobody else needed help. She can help the
Alright,
people down there.
ignore that weird situation over there and keep going. Alright,
Hmm.
let's see.
If any harm, she's just strange. So
It's true.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So he's still not back. So, as a result, I'll reluctantly continue on with Alatar. The wall
Yay.
begins to open.
Okay.
You look behind the wall, and everything is lit up nicely. You see something that you may have expected, but may not have expected. Behind this wall, you see what looks like a series of, like, I guess they're rat tunnels that are just sort of the size of, they're like tubes that are curving around in different directions. And it seems to line up with the one that came out of the wall that you saw before.
Okay.
And one of them, the exits, it's sort of like piping that wasn't completed. And you see that one of them corresponds with that location on the wall, and you see other ones snaking around this next little area, which is like it sort of like mirrors this room, except the side of it has a bunch of tubes in it. And you look past it, and it looks like there's another hallway that continues on somewhere.
Well, let's go down the hallway.
Alright, so you sort of just duck down and scooch to the side around these various piping emplacements. And you sort of look forward. Doesn't seem like there's anything dangerous yet. You see a wall at the far end, and pretty close to you, you see a way going right, and a little bit further down, you see a way going left.
Let's go left this time.
Alright, so you rush past the one that goes right, and you head left, and immediately you hear of another stone wall moving, but you look back, it's not closing you in this time. You look in the hallway, you don't see what moved.
So back, just like that.
Alright, we sort of revealed the thing, but now we're switching back to you.
Okay.
Adro-san, you're about 9/10 of the way through your ritual when DT finally shows up with somebody that appears to want to help you, and it's that weird green guy. Although at this point he still isn't a weird green guy. He's in his this weird human's form.
I think I've ended, so I'm back to an elf now.
Oh, well, then in that case, you see a weird elf. You have no idea who he is.
Or actually, let me see how long that lasts. I'm not sure.
Oh.
No, it's
1
an
hour.
hour. So yeah, I'm still tracks.
Okay, so you see the weird thing that he changed into before.
So the human or the elf? Because
The human.
okay, so son looks him over and goes like, so I guess you know what to do when someone gets stuck like this in a remove curse spell, because I have no clue.
What?
Gorath, you look over and you see a man that you recognize from the fight before, staring at a rat sitting on a chair. And they're just staring at each other.
Interesting. How long have they been standing like that?
Well, I guess 15 minutes.
Approximately.
Huh. Okay. I'll step in front of him, and then I'll hands together like you do with a defibrillator, and I'll just touch him.
Touching who?
with Alatar, because he's just standing still there. So I'm just gonna shake my head together like a defibrillator.
Oh, okay. And now I get you. Okay. Alatar, 24 hits you probably.
Probably, most likely. Yeah, you know it does.
I try to wake you up with 9 lightning damage.
So,
All right. So your HP total is 9 is subtracted from it.
yay! Thank you.
Unfortunately, you in your weird vision state, you don't feel any of that.
Well, that's good.
So I also just goes like, well, why did you do that for? It doesn't seem to work though.
Yeah, well, I could try. I'm not too familiar. I'm actually gonna cast a spell to read his thoughts.
That might work.
I don't say I'm gonna do it. I just do it. You don't know I'm reading thoughts.
Oh.
All right. So you get Erosan's surface thoughts. Anything coming up?
It could like this is bad, 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 bad.
So that's what you get from him.
Mostly, and if he goes deeper, he mostly get more crazy stuff.
Not bad.
Well, I assume he's not trying to go deeper than you yet.
No.
Yeah.
So
He just goes into more madness, so to say.
all right. And as you attempt to hear Alatar's thoughts, you hear you're in the point in the story in your side. You are currently looking at those rat tubes. So, what are your thoughts at that moment? What would your character be thinking when he saw those rat tubes?
Where do they all go? How many are there?
So that's the first thing that you get on his surface thoughts.
And
Well, if he
there's a lot of mice
sees
and rats around.
something,
You can attempt to probe deeper.
yeah, I'll try to probe deeper. Actually,
Um,
that's a wisdom save on his part, I think.
okay. Make a wisdom saving throw. Because unfortunately, this is not voluntary. You
Try
can't
to be good.
volunteer to give up your thoughts because you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So 9.
Oh,
He knows what I'm
can
thinking.
he?
Yeah, so I need to be higher.
Does he need to pick someone, or is it like everyone?
No, it's he can
No,
pick
I
whoever.
pick one person.
Okay.
All right, so
So
you're
I
getting
pick, of course, Alatar.
you're getting pretty much the situation that he's stuck in. He's like, where's this labyrinth going? That sort of thing. And you saw him looking at those tubes before pushing past them to get to the next section of the maze.
The only thing I could think of is, I mean, I would be pretty much out of resources if I do it, but I could try. I'll just have to check what my spells are worth, because I need to change them. Do anything else? So yeah, whatever I read out of, or what I picture his situation is. So like it's a labyrinth and stuff like that.
Alright, Arosan, you hear him just describing this stuff that you didn't even know that he was reading his mind. And then you just hear him describing all this stuff off to you.
Okay, so is this bad? Like really bad?
I mean, I've heard of some people entering labyrinths. Most of them don't return. But if we want to really end up writing a book about it.
Oh boy, this is bad.
So yeah, I'll see what there's work.
The other interesting part that might be worth mentioning is the fact that they usually physically entered the labyrinth.
Oh yeah, you know.
So I'm screwed.
So yeah,
Oh boy.
I sacrificed a first level spell,
Okay.
which gave me 6 points to make a 4th level spell.
Okay.
And I'm gonna attempt to banish Notar to a demi-plane.
Okay. What
Yes.
needs to be rolled?
To see what happens.
Do I know what he's gonna do before he's even gonna do it?
You see
No,
magical
I'm just
energy
continuing.
coalescing around his fingers, but other than that, no. You have no idea what he's doing.
So, son, just like you
Wait,
doing?
you have to detect magic. He can detect the school of
Oh.
magic.
You can detect that I'm doing well. First off, you get more towards this shocking grasp. Then you get some enchantment magic, and you get some aberration.
Alright. That's what you get? Because you still have detect magic on. I assume you didn't turn it off.
No. So, what are you doing with my friend? Because I don't want him to be like gone anytime soon.
Why are you concerned
answer?
about that?
Okay.
Because I can
No, I
detect.
just asked him why he's concerned about that as I cast a spell, basically.
Okay. So you cast the spell. What's required for the spell to work?
He has to make a save, a charisma one.
Alright. Go ahead.
Oh boy.
Alatar.
Charisma, right?
Charisma.
Yeah, he beats it.
Alright. So the thing that you were expecting to happen didn't happen.
19 minus 4. Actually, I'm gonna, no, it's called. I need points for that. Never mind.
Alright.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen.
Could you please tell me what you're doing before you do it again?
You have no idea what he just did.
I'm trying
Magic
to-
just flowed out from him of the particular type that the spell is, and then nothing happened.
I mean, it would seem like it. I don't think I can do anything about it.
But what were you doing?
Fix again?
I can send my robot to pick you up and hold you in place, right?
Can try.
Well, I don't see why you would.
To prevent you from doing casting spells, so that until you tell me what you're doing.
Then why did you ask for help? I'm confused.
Because I don't want him to be all of a sudden a pile of ash or something. Because
It
you
was only a
did
minor shock.
Because you did shock him.
Anyone before. It's great at waking people up.
Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. So please do tell what you're gonna do before you actually do it.
Well, sometimes, most of the time, I don't even know myself. So
DT, grab him!
Alright, this is gonna happen. Grapple.
Let's see, that's strength check for DT. Well, strength since he
I
doesn't
don't
really have.
resist.
You don't resist.
Okay, that he just grabs
Okay.
and
Yeah, you
lifts him
can
up.
choose to not resist, so he is grappled.
So, please explain what you were doing before.
I already told you.
Yeah, you said you were trying to help him.
Yes.
But what were you doing to try and help him?
Casting magic.
And that magic would be like casting a firebolt or detecting magic,
I clearly didn't cast any
identifying.
fireball.
Yeah, but that's
I clearly
what.
didn't cast any fire.
Yeah, but what were you doing?
I was trying to help him.
Yeah, in what way? Like, I don't know what spell you were casting.
Well, I have plenty of spells.
So what were you doing?
Well, I have more.
Tell me.
Oh,
I heard I was there. You cut out, and then the very last letter.
spell.
I spelled. E.T. shake him a little.
Shake him a lot.
So you get shaken
Well-
around a little, then hold still again.
That happens.
You have such strange creatures.
Wait a minute. You're that slat, aren't you?
Oh dear God.
I am a slab.
Explains a lot. So, do tell me what you're doing before you actually do it, because then we might find out what's going on, because magic in this world is very different in your world.
I mean, you asked for help, but I helped. I don't see how there's much more to it. Did not work.
Yeah, so what were you doing that actually failed?
But nothing happened.
I clearly saw you casting something on him, but it didn't work, so I want to know what it was.
You mean the shock?
No, I don't know what you were doing, so I'm asking you what you were doing.
You just shake your hands and you'll get the electricity out of them. Works every time for me.
No, after that one.
Yeah. You want me to show you?
No, tell me.
Tell you what?
What you were doing.
I already told you what I was doing. I mean, like this, and I cast Shocking Grasp on Doti. Or DT.
You can't do that.
Actually, he
and
can't.
because I cast Management, I have this again, which
Wait,
means I
you
trigger
can't.
Right Surge. You
You
can
can't,
do
because you're grappled by Toti.
grappled.
It's a
Yeah,
touch
he's holding
spell.
you literally by your shoulder, so you actually need to try and touch him. And he has quite large hands, so...
I mean, he's holding me, so I assume it's pretty easy to touch him.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah.
touching
So
him.
there's a 16 hit
DT.
Doti. DT.
DT is touching him, so he can just cast
Oh.
Shocking Grasp through his shoulders.
Oh, okay, yeah, 16 does hit. Just one over his AC.
Takes
10
10
lightning, and let's see, 19. Let's find.
And he just
the correct
stands there still, because it just...
And yeah, let me roll 1d6.
Oh shit, a 19.
5 flumps also appear.
5 what?
And they're terrified of me.
Flumps.
Oh, clubs.
Yes. So you see him go to DT, and then suddenly 5 octopus-looking jellyfish-type creatures appear suddenly around him, and they go, "What? No!" And then they start floating away.
It's okay. I guess you're safe with me.
One of them goes behind you. The other 4 are just floating off in random directions.
Yay, I guess. So, how bad is he?
How bad is who?
Well, I was asking the flump how bad the Gorgon was it?
Gorath.
Gorath it is.
Its little eye stalks crane around your shoulder to look at him, and then it just quickly darts them back, and then it says, "You scare me," in your mind.
So
that's the
Arson
only way they
says.
can talk.
So Arson says, very bad. Okay, that's a thing to note down. And would you stop shocking my robot, please?
I thought you were interested in learning.
Yes, like not the physical and painful way, but more like the word way.
How would you describe this then? And I'm kind of just shock them without actually doing anything more. I'm just gonna load up electricity in my hands.
Okay. His hands have sparks flying from them.
Well, for now, you're just letting sparks fly in your hand. But if you describe further what's the meaning of it, how it's being used, then I would be able to understand what it's used for.
To wake people up.
Well, it also seems to hurt people with, so technically you would be shocking someone, so with shocking attack.
Yeah, you could put it like that.
So, now explain what failed, what you were trying to do. Not the shocking, but the one after that.
The flump behind you.
You meant when I read your mind.
No, wait, you read my mind.
The flump cranes its eyes around your shoulder, and it says, "He just wants to hurt people."
I noticed. So you read my mind. Okay. So that's not the spell I noticed. But no, not that spell. I saw you cast another spell towards my friend. So what was that about?
Oh yeah, but that one didn't work.
Yeah, but what was it? What was it supposed to do?
It didn't do anything.
What was it supposed to do?
But it didn't seem to work.
Just tell me what it would
cranes
do.
its eyes around again and says, "He's mean. He's not going to answer."
Well, I might have my ways. So I will ask again, what if it were to succeed? What would it have done?
Well, hopefully break the curse. What's affecting him?
So, what was the spell you were trying to do?
Break the curse he's currently in.
Spell called Break the Curse. That's the spell.
DD, you have a new plate thing.
And this, based on your previous orders before, he's sort of focuses his eyes, and then he just sort of picks him up and puts him on his shoulder and just starts walking away.
And don't let him come back.
And what I'm going to get you to do is roll an intimidation check.
Who?
You, Erosan.
Okay. Yay, -1.
Because basically you're attempting to intimidate him by saying that the robot's going to do whatever he wants.
16.
Alright.
How very intimidated are you?
Use your insight. If you beat a 16, then you can choose what to do.
You know, if you try to hop off, oh, you're gonna stay.
You have a feeling that he's not lying. He's going. This robot is going to harm you in some way.
That won't do. So I'll just prepare some things by swapping some spell points. But that's all for now.
Alright. Starts. Just taking
I'll
you
tell
off.
the robot that I would recommend he doesn't put his hands on me more than carrying.
It doesn't seem like it's capable of speech, but it heard you. And it is ignoring you.
As it should. You could just potentially just hop off.
You can try to do that, but he's walking off to a secluded corner.
Well, he's more
Are you
taking
sure
him.
you wish to risk your Are you sure you wish to risk your robot?
So he's calling out to you, Ado-san, as he's being taken away.
Well, I can rebuild him.
It's true. He can't.
Unless you do something that makes me unable to fix him. What you doing?
I was just asking because it seems like you were intent on hurting me for some reason. I don't know what I did wrong, though.
Well,
Still
not telling
just
me what
walking
you
away.
were doing.
He's walking off to
DT.
where nobody's around.
DT, if he tries to do something that makes me unable to fix you up, let him go.
And he continues walking, because his order of parameters that you've given him is to continue to do what he's doing until something bad happens. So he's still going.
Yeah, he just keeps walking until it's like a magic that's like bad. Just then DT goes like heads up like, whoa.
He's going to a secluded corner where nobody's around, and he grabs him. He's going behind the side of the temple where nobody's around, and he throws him on the ground, and he sort of just puts his hand on one of his hands on Gorath's legs, if you're allowing him to do this. He's going
Well,
to
I wouldn't DT to go to like break his legs. It's more like to keep him in place and away.
I'll say that your character is familiar. Basically, what he's going to do is he's going to pin his legs in place and threaten to punch him in the face.
That is kind of what Arasan would allow.
Exactly. So that's what's going to happen. So, Gorath, do you allow the robot to pin your legs?
No, I would ask him if all of this is necessary.
Alright, Arlson, if you're anywhere nearby.
Yeah.
No, the robot I'm talking to.
Well, the robot can talk back, so...
It can't respond, but it goes... and it gives you a thumbs up as it's attempting to pin your legs.
Because it can't speak at all.
Yeah, so it's saying yes, this is going forward.
So yeah, I'll step up.
You'll what? Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, like I'll step out of the way.
Okay.
I'm just let
So
him.
he's going to attempt to grapple you. So DT rolls against Gorath.
So athletics is strength, so
Strength. Yeah.
oh,
It's
equal.
even. So if it's
I'm
even,
gonna no, actually, because I have an ability called Bend Luck, which I can spend 2 sorcery points to add before I win.
Cheeky.
all right. So it attempts to pin your legs, and then you move out of the way. Its head looks at you and focuses in, and it starts trying to chase after you. With its hands like this, trying to grab you.
Yeah, they're like massive with hands just going like grabbing.
But just redo some of my spells myself.
So you're gonna use your
And I'll
spell?
fly out of his reach. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that, since he wasted his attack. Though technically he is within range, so he can attempt to do so again before you get out of his melee range.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
DT does have a speed of 60 feet. Would that mean that he can jump 30 feet high? I thought it was like half movement speed to jump in height.
Well, I'll say that kind of makes sense. I think that's length. Like if you're attempting to do a long jump, you can do half your movement in a jump.
Okay.
But if you're attempting to jump up, it's a little bit harder. So it's half of half.
Okay, so that is 15. That's 7 feet. 7, 8.
No, 30
50.
is half.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
that's my bad.
15 is half.
Yeah,
So he
my
can
bad.
jump 15.
Yeah.
So,
I'm leaving his reach, so you can try to grapple me.
yeah, unless if you used an action to do that, but you cast fly, so that's an action. So he can attempt to grapple him again if he wishes, as he
Which-
flies up.
He will be trying to.
All right. Roll
So
for him.
another. Not this time.
I will spend tides again, because I have 2 more points. 1d4. Which is a
Nope.
1, so yeah, it's fine.
All right, and you have to roll because you got advantage, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to roll on that table too.
Oh boy.
Oh
Which
no.
is 100.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Something bad.
All right. So.
Did this happen before?
I didn't expect this to happen so soon.
Oh boy.
So, Erosan, DT, and Alatar, even though you can't perceive it due to the state that you're in, and Lily, all of you start to feel weightless for a second, and then suddenly your vision goes blurry, and except Alatar, you're in a magical state, so you don't perceive
Still.
any of this happening.
That's a
Let me
good
see.
thing?
So as soon as I was on such feeling great,
No, I know what
like,
this is because I put this as 100.
yeah.
So I know what this is.
So as soon I was on such feeling great as he goes like DT, come over, quick.
Yep,
I mean-
DT also seems to be floating in the air for a second.
DT triggered my defense mechanism. It can't be helped.
Alright, and you end up,
Oh, no.
all of you are now standing. Well, you're technically floating at the moment since this is the, the,
Don't say. He teleported the whole city to limbo.
No.
Oh god.
Though, you're not that far off.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on.
So, you end up, you are all standing. Let me see. I'm actually going to roll for this. Because I have multiple
Oh
areas,
boy.
multiple
Well,
things that
bad
can
rolls.
happen.
Yeah, nothing.
So, alright.
Oh, boy.
All
I'm
of you,
completely out of spells and sorcery points, and I'm completely out of hit points almost.
alright. All of you are currently standing on a cloud that has weight to it, and you can actually stand on it, like you're standing on a cloud. And you look around you, you see nothing but clouds for
Days and
as
days.
far as you can see.
Because I'll die. So Arsa just carefully starts walking
Alatar
towards
is just sort of blankly staring. Actually, something interesting is happening with that as well.
Oh,
He
yeah,
starts
goody.
spinning around in place.
Spin the avatar.
He's just spinning around and around and around relatively quickly. And
Where the spray?
Lily just like, what happened?
Oh, I think the robot grabbed me, and we ended up here.
DT, come over. I don't like this place very much. I don't know what it is. I don't know where we are.
Comes over to you, and it starts. It does what it usually does when it's trying to gain its bearings. So its eyes keep focusing in and out over and over again on different things to attempt to get like landmarks and whatnot. And it just keeps looking around, and DT doesn't seem like it knows where you are either.
So Arsa just clambers onto DT, just getting to high ground, holding his rifle like, oh boy, this is...
All right, you
Don't
look
know
through,
what's
you look
going
through your
on.
rifle's sights.
Yeah.
All you see for miles is clouds.
Anyone know some gods that might be here? Could Arsa do a religion check? Perhaps he knows something.
Actually, first I'm gonna get you to make a perception check.
Okay, perception.
Yeah, I would probably be looking around too if I could.
20.
All right. And I'll get Lily to look. I didn't expect this to happen so soon. This is a really bad situation, by the way.
Yeah, I did wish I was real feeling about it. Oh god.
All right. I gotta get to the right place here. Perception. I had one of 4 areas picked out beforehand, but I was actually going to figure out which one I wanted later. But I guess I had to pick now, so that's why I rolled a random dice. So,
And we picked the worst, or one of the better ones.
you're not sure.
You haven't been there for...
I have no idea. Okay, so, it makes sense. Edo-san is, using his sights to look around. You see, in the distance, what looks like... Pull something up here. This is not a good situation.
This is bad.
I'm looking in the wrong book. That would explain why I'm not finding what I'm looking for.
Oh, boy, please let's get out of here alive.
Alright, you see, since you're looking through your scope, you can see it relatively clearly. About 500 feet away, you see what looks like a humanoid bird, say. It has eagle-like wings, a face that looks like an eagle's face, but the proportions, like it has arms and legs. The legs have talons on them, and it has a spear in its hand, and it looks like you see it just for a minute come above the clouds, and then it dives back down beneath the clouds.
Perhaps
Using the spear first.
Yeah, perhaps some kind of kangaroo? Or was kangaroo?
Kangaroos can't fly.
Oh, what was it then?
Yeah,
I
it
know
comes above the line of the clouds and then dives down beneath the level of the clouds.
I know there is a player race that can fly, but I can't recall the name.
They can fly, so.
You can make a nature check, and I can tell you if you make a sufficient number.
Okay, nature. 23.
Yeah, 23. This is an Aarakocra? I don't know how to pronounce it. Aarakocra? That's what that is. Clearly.
Oh. So what I saw...
As though, based on that, you're gathering that you're not on the material plane anymore.
Oh, boy, this is bad. So
the fact that you can't see anything but clouds and Aarakocra, they tend to not live on the material plane. They tend to be originating from the plane of air.
Oh boy, we're in a bad spot.
So suddenly you found yourself on the plane of air, but only you are aware of this. Everybody else is just confused still.
DT?
Traveling so many places a day is making me tired, and I tried to find a soft cloud to lay on.
Don't
They're all relatively soft.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like like when you try to walk, it's like you're walking on pillows.
Yeah, I'll just start laying down, relaxing.
Alright.
I'm tired.
Lily goes up to Ado-san and says, "What's going on? Where are we?"
Well, we're in the elemental plane of air.
What?
Yes, we're in the elemental plane of air.
What?
Doctor, can you check her ears for me?
Alatar, you said?
No, Doctor, can you check her ears for me?
Oh, Rockthrower is not here.
Oh.
You look around and you notice that
he's too heavy to fly.
You have no idea where Rockthrower is.
Rockthrower is just sitting back on the material plane confused. Where did she go?
Yeah. So Arson looks at Lily. Where did your big green friend go?
I don't know! I was asking you!
Oh boy.
You're good at that voice.
I mean, we can all do it! But yeah, so Arson's like making himself smell like, oh boy, this is bad. I want to get out of here. I want to back to the ground.
Tell me before I punch you!
I told you we're in the elemental plane of air.
Yeah, but where's that?
Well,
Background.
so as I starts drawing his book and all, it's as simple as possible. Try to explain Lily it so that he understands.
So basically, how it works in this world is, I saw a picture in one of the books. If you guys are familiar with the books, that the material plane is in an interior circle, and the elemental planes are an
The
exterior
around
circle.
it, and then it's
Yeah.
the outer ones. Yeah.
So
So,
that's basically how it is. So you're basically on a threshold that you can't get to from the material plane.
Yeah, so Arson is holding his book and holding a pen, like, so we are here and we want to go back here. Somehow.
Basically, there's very few ways of getting back.
Yeah, or we need to be very lucky and come upon a tear. Well, perhaps if we
A portal.
follow the portal, perhaps the black goop already is here. Maybe they know a portal, perhaps.
Alright, and as you're attempting to explain this, in the distance you hear. And
Oh,
you
boy.
look in the distance and you see what looks like some sort of weird it's black in color. And it looks kind of like a flying anglerfish. Has a little dangling light in front of it, and it has the really sharp teeth that anglerfish have, except it has an extremely long body. And you see a couple of those bird-like people currently attacking it with spears.
So how far is that fish thing away from me? Us?
About 450 feet, and it seems to be heading in your direction. It seems like it's may have been drawn by the magical disturbance in the area.
Eat pain, you fishy. 3 flavors of pain, to be exact. Because I never said I unloaded my gun. Because I loaded it. 27.
Let me just pull up some relatively... 27 is going to hit, but I'm just going to pull up the stats that I'm going to use. Since you're attacking it right away.
Yeah, because now far away I can't do it. Then I let DT scoop up Lily and then start running 120 feet with DT. So they know we're friends, I guess, by then.
The Akroka, or however you pronounce it, I'm never going to get it right. But either way, they seem to be attacking it, and they're not coming after you, but the creature is.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm waiting to roll damage just for you to finish up your
Yeah,
thing.
I have it. You can roll damage anytime.
Okay. Ooh, 75.
Alright.
If it was a crit, I would have literally devastated it. I think.
Alright, this creature, just double checking. I'm actually going to do a different calculation on a different calculator, because I need to. But either way, the creature seems like it's still barreling towards you guys.
So
it seems like it came up from under the cloud cover, and it's just rushing towards you now.
then I command DT to grab Lily and start running away from it. Full speed.
Alright.
To where?
That's a good question.
Well, the elemental plane of
Anywhere
air
but there.
seems to be endless, so just in a way that seems solid. Well,
Anywhere but there.
solid-ish.
You're standing on clouds. Your normal perception of solid isn't gonna work here.
Yeah, so... oh yeah, also shouldn't forget, grab Alatar and the mouses, if the mouses are there.
The mice are not there.
Okay, then grab...
Alatar is just spinning around in place.
So, I asked DT
Stay out of the splash zone.
to grab Alatar and Lily, and then start bolting away.
Alright. Alatar is in no shape to resist. So he gets taken.
Aw.
Lily is going to oblige you. Because she has not very much stuff left. So this sounds like a good idea. So what I'll say is for this next round, I'll let Goroth go. You realize that your allies are fleeing from something.
Something that Amazon shot.
So I would get up with the loud noises and look what all the fuss is about.
You see the weird-looking anglerfish creature heading towards you, and these bird-like creatures attempting to spear it.
Interesting. I'll look at it for a while.
Alright.
For a while.
The weird anglerfish creature notices that the other things that are in the vicinity of where it's trying to go are moving away from it. So it's going directly towards you now.
Good job.
Interesting. I look back towards. I look back towards.
Swimming through the air like this towards you.
And I look back towards the others. What are they doing?
They're 120 feet away
I'm
now.
just spinning, so.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the others are 120 feet away for you.
So are you going to waste your whole turn waiting? See what happens?
I was wasting quite a while looking at it, but after a while, when I realized it's gonna potentially kill me, then I'll run away.
Alright, I'll say that you get half your movement, since you waited so long. For that turn.
Yeah.
Alright, and just to keep the tension up, we're switching back to Alatar, who is in a maze.
Still spinning, right?
Well, in the maze you're not, but your body is.
So I think you're going, if you get out of there, you're going from in the frying pan into the fire, so in a less worse situation, I guess.
You're in a less bad situation at the moment.
No, your body, okay.
Your body's in a really bad situation. Okay, so we're back. You went through that left door, and you heard something shift behind you. Do you wish to still remain in this corridor, or do you want to check out that other corridor?
I'll stay in this corridor, see where it goes.
Alright, you start heading down this corridor. You turn... the only other option down this corridor is to turn right. And you look down that way, and all you see is a wall down that way.
You and your walls. Oh, let's keep going.
Alright, you head towards the wall, and there's no other path.
That sucks. Alright. Where is it? I am going to try and blow a hole through this wall.
Alright. Screw turning around and trying again. just blow this wall up. See what happens.
Well, Howler taught me well, you know? Thank you, Howler.
No problem. Right. You still have a purple worm if you ever need it.
Yeah, you still have the purple worm. You're not sure how that's going to work in this weird
I'm good with the worm right now.
Yeah, right. Let's not use that. Wait, does he have that?
My body's...
Wait, the question is, does he have that scroll with him?
He hasn't tried to do that yet. We'll see the results of his Eldritch Blast, and if he wishes to see if he still has it, then we'll see.
But I don't know if that would work or not, because I'm not even with my body, so, you know.
You don't know what's going to happen. So, 11 and 13, those both hit. It's a stationary wall.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, 14 and 7.
You hit a defenseless wall.
He
Well,
did
don't
do
wanna
that.
open.
Everywhere else he went, it just went forward. He wants to continue doing so.
No turning back. You gotta keep going forward.
Alright, let's see. So. Alright, you made a small dent in this very hard sandstone wall.
In 6
Time to go
seconds.
back.
But what can you do in a minute? Or an hour?
You could, if you wanted to, spend an hour shooting eldritch blasts at this wall.
Well, it would be fun, but you're tempting me now.
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say, the exact words.
I'll turn around, and go back.
Alright, you begin
what
to turn
happens.
around, and as you turn around, you hear above you.
Okay.
You look up, and you see an opening in the ceiling that leads to a black void.
Ooh. That's
And I can't
definitely
see
not
to the black
yelling
void, right?
doom.
There's a black void in the ceiling. What do you do?
Try and look through the hole. Try and look,
Alright,
see what's up there.
fair enough. You stand directly beneath the hole, and you look up, and you
Okay.
hear coming from the hole. And I'll give you a chance to react. I'll be generous.
To be generous.
Just be like, nope.
And I'll go backwards. I'll walk away from it.
Alright, you walk back from it, and you see as a green gelatinous cube falls from the ceiling and
I should have just kept it in
lands
the
right in
wall.
front of you. And it goes like jello.
I should have kept shooting the wall. Dang it!
You are now trapped between it and the wall.
That's just not fair.
You need to find
You're right,
gelatinous-
but it's a maze. They
I'm
weren't
amazed I
thinking
survived this
about
far.
fair.
Who says mazes are fair?
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well, they're supposed to be fun, not fair. God,
Which is also true.
where's the corn
All
at?
right.
Okay.
Alright, so it is in front of you. Any reaction?
Step back from it.
Alright, fair enough. You move back from it. It seems like it's moving slightly in your direction. Anything else you want to do with your first turn?
Do the wiggle?
Do the worm.
It is completely. The cube is as wide as the hallway you currently are.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
This is smart cookie.
Or smart blob.
Or that.
Seems like this was set up to be like this for a reason. Any reaction for the rest of your turn? Or are you just going to move away from it? I'm saying that you started a different turn from when you hit the wall. So you can attack it if you want.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing possibly Witch Bolt.
Alright, go ahead.
Remember, it's a 4th level cast.
Yeah, so you automatically cast it at fourth level due to being a warlock. Alright, I'm just pulling it up here. Where is the book? I think it's under G, isn't it? Or is it under...
Gelatinous? I think it's under G.
Or is it
Or it's under
under...
oozes or something, because I think they're together.
That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't think of the word. Here it is.
This is going to be great.
Alright,
Yeah,
gelatinous.
for you.
Well, we have a giant anglerfish, so I think you're more happy
Wow.
if you were there than with us.
No, he's way worse, because he could
Yeah,
die
yeah.
there, and he could die by the anglerfish where he can't defend himself.
Either way, I
so.
can die. So I'm screwed either way.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
So, it has a 6 AC, so it is super easy to hit. So you hit. I think unless if you roll a natural 1, you will not miss. So you hit.
When you click the damage, you have to select 4th level. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I checked.
Alright, 20 lightning
28.
and 8 lightning. So 28 lightning. Let's see.
And it's concentration, so you can keep doing it, the damage.
Yeah, because it lasts for a minute.
Okay.
And it maintains the arc. So yeah.
Alright.
Finally hit with it.
Why do I have this? What is this purpose? I'm getting rid of it. Alright.
This is going so far south, I can even see it going down.
Alright.
Well, now you know what happens when you try to grab Gurat.
Yeah,
just
Gorath, this is how he teleported all those other people into that room with you.
yeah, that's why you should speak up when you're talking to a madman willing to do anything to get answers.
Alright, it has 28 damage. You used your movement to back up against the wall, I guess, get as far away from it as possible.
Yeah.
Alright. 28 damage is done.
Cool.
It moves. Let's see.
Please say away. Please say away.
Nope. That is definitely not what it's going to do.
Damn it.
Well, why not?
It moves.
It might be scared.
It moves 5 feet towards you. You have, based on its movement speed, you have 3 more turns to deal with this situation.
Okay.
Okay, just do 28 damage with 3 times in a row, and then you're golden, I hope.
Yeah, you should be able to just click it as long as you maintain the hit when you hit them.
Yeah. True.
Alright,
So you can
so
just
Witch
keep
Bolt.
doing the damage.
I assume you're going to use Witch Bolt again.
Yeah, because it's maintaining the arc, so might as well keep.
And when you're hitting it, it doesn't seem like it's reacting a lot. It seems like you're running an electric current through jello. It's not really doing... It's not, like, reacting a lot, so it's just moving towards you. But it seems like it is getting damaged. So it's not like you're not doing any damage. It's just that it's jello. It's not moving a lot based on how you're hitting it.
Alright, see what happens. Level 4. Submit. Yay, we got lower.
Alright. Plus 15 plus 7. You're still doing quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, but not enough.
Well, let's see how much health it has. But you wouldn't know that anyway, so who cares?
Well, unless you tell me.
No, I will not do that. So it continues, it moves forward another 5 feet. You have another 2 turns to deal with the situation.
Alright, I'll just keep going with the whole arc thingy.
Alright. And it seems like because you're attacking it, it's moving a little bit slower because it's trying to get to you, but there's damage coming from that direction, so it's a little bit reluctant to keep moving as fast as it could. It's technically a movement speed of 15 feet. which is a lot for something like that.
Alright, see how bad it is. Oh yeah, level 4.
You're doing less each turn. Hooray!
Yeah, that seems about right for me.
It looks like it's starting, like the edges of the cube, like the corners of the cube, are starting to curl down a little bit. Seems like it's not doing too good. But still, it continues.
So, okay.
You have about 5 feet of space left, including where you're standing.
Well, might as well see what happens.
Alright, cast your spell. You still have one more chance. You did minimum damage.
It's not minimum, but yeah, the first number was 1.
Yeah, the first number was minimum.
Minimum is 4 damage total.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Oh, he rolled a 1. Okay. I see what you mean.
I'm like losing steam.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
panicking,
the
I would
witch
say.
bolt is fading. It was strong in the beginning, then just slowly fades.
You're starting to
Nothing
panic,
wrong.
is what I would say.
Only
And
a little bit.
as a result, it stops moving and it starts melting into the floor.
So it's a
It
witch.
turns into like a puddle of mush in front of you.
Nice.
So you actually managed to do 4 damage more than what you needed.
And with those terrible rolls, nice.
Yep.
Okay. Then
All
I will
right.
head back down the hallway.
All right, you start stepping through the gunk, and as you do, you sort of slightly twist your ankle a little bit, like it's like you're stepping on something that you thought was going to be even, but it wasn't.
Of course.
And you start, and you look down, and you see what looks like a handle of some sort. Piece of wood, round like this, with a metal piece sticking out of it.
Then I will try to, I guess, open it.
It's a handle. You can pick it up. It's just
sorry. I'll
that's
pick it
all.
up. That's in my pocket. You never know. I might come a door without a handle later.
All right. So for now, at least, you can put in your inventory strange handle.
That's for me.
So you go back down the hallway. You look both ways. Seems unchanged from when you were there.
Of course it would.
So you could go right, and if you went right, you turn left down a path you haven't been. Or you could continue straight down this hallway from the weird pipe room.
Let's go left.
Alright, so you're going to go left and head down that other hallway, or are you going back to the pipe room?
Let's go to the other hallway.
Alright, so you go down the other hallway. Something similar happens. You hear. You look back down the hallway. Doesn't seem like anything changed from your perspective.
Interesting.
That it would be.
Then I'll just keep going straight.
Alright, you go down that hallway. And similar thing. It forces you to turn left. And there just appears to be a wall down the hall. What do you want to do?
Never mind. Let's head towards the wall.
Alright, you walk towards the wall. No other path. Just a wall. You're now, like, face right in front of this wall again. Seems like you keep choosing the wrong path in this maze.
Amazing, right?
Yes, it is a maze.
I'll turn around and go back.
Alright, you start turning around. You look up. Similar hole in the ceiling.
Stupid holes in the ceiling.
Yep. Another hole. What do you want to do?
Try and run past the hole to get on the other side of it.
Alright, you get to the other side. The hole produces nothing.
Let's try and climb in the hole.
Alright. In order to do so, you would have to climb a 15-foot wall to get to where the section is, and the hole, this particular one, is in the middle of the ceiling, so you would have to climb about 2 feet along the ceiling to get to the hole, and then reach up into the hole in order to get up there.
Oh.
So it's possible, but you would have to have something to help you, looks like. And you look around you, you have all your items from your inventory on you. That you had before you entered this place. So if anything on your person could help you climb up there, you might be able to do it.
Don't think I do, though.
Then I guess it will remain unexplored.
Yeah.
Shame.
You sound so disappointed.
So what do you want to
do? Keep going back the way I came from.
Okay. As you go back, make a perception check. Alright. With a 9, you see something just barely out of the corner of your eye. Like, put your finger right here next to your eye, and that's how much you see of something. You turn your head, and there's nothing there.
Of course. Huh? I'll just keep walking.
You hear...
I keep running.
Alright, you get back to the hallway. You want to go down towards the pipe room, or you want to go to the other way?
Go the other way.
Alright, you start running down that hall. You get to... you go past the one with the cube, and you get to a little bit further, and you notice that there is a section of the wall that is moved. You see that there is a metal slot and a hole that looks like it's big enough for the handle that you picked up before, and you see another one beside it.
Then I'll take the handle out and put it in that slot.
Alright, you slot it in. It fits perfectly.
So I'm assuming it's like a door, so I'll try to open it.
Alright, so the way that this one works is you pull it down, and you hear a... Appears as though something happened, but no door opened or anything. Make another perception check. This time you see it's about right here from your vision. And you see what looks like weird looking ball about the size of a human torso. And it's partially open on one side, And you see these weird white-looking balls inside of it, and it has these weird little stilt-like appendages on it. And as soon as you look towards it to try to focus on it, it suddenly vanishes, and you hear.
Running doesn't help. Well, something happened with the door thingy. Just don't know where.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
All right. As you
I
were.
got a D.
As you were. Give you a little bit longer to try to figure out what's going on here. You can continue down the hallway. There's a little bit further down the hallway that you can go, if you wish.
There.
Alright, you start heading down the hallway a little bit more. And there is a snaking corridor, which you haven't seen so far. So far it's been like right angles and direct turning corridors. You see a snaking corridor. It curves beyond sight to your left.
Might as well go down it.
Alright, you start going down the snaky corridor and make another perception check. Again, you see it a little bit more clearly this time. It's a weird looking ball. Part of it is open. Looks kind of like maybe a mouth. You're not sure. But there's these weird looking white balls inside of it that seem kind of like eyes. As you can see, irises and pupils. They're bright blue in color. Weird little stick things coming down from it have these weird looking shoes on them. And then as soon as you start to try to focus on it a little bit more than that, it vanishes and you hear.
Huh? Keep going down the hallway.
Alright, you continue down the hallway. And it seemed like it was standing in an impossible to stand in position. Like, if you can imagine somebody poorly doing Photoshop and putting like just a random thing within your vision, sort of thing on a picture. It's kind of what it looked like.
Okay.
And when you tried to focus on it, then you just heard that noise. And you continue down this snaking hallway. It snakes to the left, and then it turns to the right, and then it turns back to the left. Make another perception check. Alright, since you're consistently succeeding at this point, it seems like it's getting a little bit closer to you this time. And the eyes that are within this mouth-like concavity out of this round ball seem to be looking directly at you. And as you look back at it, it just vanishes, and you hear.
Okay.
Seems like it's just trying to spook you, maybe, but you're not sure.
Yeah.
It might actually be doing something harmful to you that you don't know.
True. I was just laughing, so I'll just keep going forward.
Alright, you head down the snaking corridor and reach a dead end. Again.
These dead ends. I guess I'll turn around and go back.
Alright, you start to turn around and you hear. You haven't fully turned around yet. You heard the noise before you started to turn around.
I'll keep turning around just to see what's there.
Alright, you glance over your shoulder, and you hear it again. Turn around. Nothing's there.
Okay.
Alright, you gonna start heading back?
That's right, heading back. I have no choice.
Alright, fair enough. Make another perception check. 19. You see it again, and this time you just see the two eyes right in front of your face. And as you sort of stumble back a bit as this happens, and then it suddenly just vanishes, and you hear
It's taunting me. I'll just keep walking back to where keep going.
Alright, you start as soon as you regain your composure, you hear the noise again. And you get back to close to the entrance when suddenly I'll get you to make a perception check. Suddenly. As if that's strange. Alright. You sort of glance around the curved corner before you get to the end, and you see what looks like the head of a giant snake.
Okay,
The
then
head
I
is
will-
taller than you are.
I won't round the corner just yet.
Alright? You're not around the corner yet. What do you want to do?
Can I try to put the snake to sleep?
Alright, how many spells did you have?
I've done one so far. So I just have one left.
You used one to get in there too, unless you rest, a short rest.
Did I use one get in there? Oh, then I
Yeah,
have.
'cause
Never
you.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cast
That's
Remove
alright.
Curse.
I don't know the remove curse thing that jinxed me. Thanks, Alasan.
It got you into the situation, now you're stuck in it.
You can blame our son for the other situation too, because you don't know what happened.
It's true. It's about a fish.
Well, technically, he can't blame him for that because he doesn't know that that's happening.
Assumptions. It's fine. And you're also your mic isn't working, or Kyo.
Is he
My
trying
bad.
to talk?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I could also say that it was the frog's fault, because technically it is.
Who's the frog? Are you some sort of racist?
Well,
Technically, it's the mice's fault.
Well, no, but the frog did do it.
Well, I'm not a frog. What you're talking about?
Well, the mice were asking for help, and then you decided to help them, and then everything else happened.
That's why at first I ignored the mouse. Oh, you're gonna talk to him again. What's a mouse trap? Gosh.
It is a mouse trap.
Pam pam
Obviously-
pam. Arason is just a too good-hearted guy for this world.
Yeah, because technically, Arosan wouldn't have been asking for help, and then he wouldn't have been evasive. Goroth wouldn't have been evasive, and then all of those events wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the mice.
It's a slippery slope. Good job.
Yeah. It goes downhill real quick.
So it is the mice's
snake.
fault.
Poison wouldn't work against it.
You're not
Well,
sure of that, but you can assume
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna assume that I don't want to waste an attack, and yeah.
You have your Eldritch Blast, the most OP
Yeah.
cantrip in the game, so.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm using the Eldritch Blast like always. Guys, I'm gonna try to blast the snake. At least have him back away from the hole a little bit.
Alright,
And
fair enough.
see what happens. Yeah, the first one definitely missed.
Natural
Oh
1
yeah.
is not going to work.
See,
But
I
18
see that
will.
The first one just fizzles in his hand.
It was a warning shot. It was a warning shot. I had to get the range in order.
Actually, I'm going to roll something for that natural 1.
Oh, it'll backfire. I shot myself in the head.
It might be good. You don't know yet. I'm actually going to roll with your bonus. Actually, this is going to be funny. Just as something attempts to appear in your peripheral of your vision, you fire off the shot, and the shot actually goes into it. And you hear, and it stumbles into the hallway in front of you, and roll for your second hit. Actually, roll damage for the first, and then the second.
1.
Alright, 10. You deal 10 force damage to the weird-looking
little
ball thing.
I was
And the snake-
continually laughing at you.
Yeah. And even after it got hit, it seemed like it was more laughing than taking a pained hit. And it stumbles into the middle of the area. And now you can see it looks like one of those chatter teeth, if you know what I'm talking about. Those weird-looking teeth that just go like this.
Wind up and go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except it's covered in brown. It's like a brown ball, and its mouth is open and it has eyeballs inside.
Ugh.
And it has these tiny little sticks, and it has shoes on the ends of the sticks, and it seems like it's walking around using those sticks. And it just sort of stumbles into the path, and it goes, and just as that happens, the snake realizes that something is happening, and it starts slithering forward, and the thing that's in front of you turns around, and it goes, and it gets swallowed.
Cool.
The snake just goes, swallows it. But unfortunately, the snake is still coming towards you.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Well, it was a good try to distract it, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought that
it's
it would be
sad.
interesting since you failed to hit the other thing so hard that you hit this other thing that seemed like it wasn't even on the same plane of existence as you.
No, it was a good distraction. Just didn't work. How far away is the snake from me? So no.
It's 30 feet away from you. And it seems like it's moving the same speed that you can run backwards from it.
Okay.
So you could easily continue running backwards. It's just that you have a snake-like hallway that, if it gets to the end, it's a sort of similar situation to
Yeah,
the
but I have
cube.
more room there. Yeah, but I have more room there than the cube has.
Fair enough. It moves
Yeah,
faster, but fair enough. So it's going to move towards you, unless if you want to use your movement for that turn to run away.
I'll start backing up.
All right. You move 30 feet. It moves forward 30 feet, and it eyes you suspiciously as it continues forward. It's not close enough to do anything yet.
Just keep moving away. It might
No,
not it might look snuggly, but it's not snuggly at all.
No, you blast and run, blast and run.
Unfortunately, it's not that snake from Series of Unfortunate Events. It's not going to cut on you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
As far as you know.
Well, yeah, you haven't tried.
Well, it
Perhaps
ate
you
the
could
little. It ate the
talk
two
to it
thingies,
like in Harry
so
Potter.
I don't speak parcel tongue. That wasn't one of the options.
Apparently, Howler is coming into the situation to try to persuade
How's
it
it
for
trying
you.
to be peaceful? Look at that.
Oh,
Go
nice.
figure. Go figure.
I knew it. That little guy was behind it all along.
All right. So, what are you doing?
I'm gonna
Attacking?
attack and back away. Yep.
Alrighty, go ahead.
Let's see how bad it is this time.
He's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
14 hits.
I did two,
So they both hit.
right? Cool.
All right.
I feel like I tickled it.
It gets hit in the face. It's sort of like one of those bosses in a video game that only has a certain portion of it that reacts, and the rest of it keeps moving. So its head just reacts, but it's still moving towards you consistently.
Alright, then back up 30 feet. So...
Image.
All right. You're around the second curve at this point.
I'm almost to the room. Got it.
Yeah.
Ah,
All right. It continues moving. That's its turn.
and I continue shooting. Oh, good grief. 8. Come on.
Well, at least you got a crit, so maybe that'll make up for it.
No, technically not, because it's minus the modifier.
Well, 27 is a crit. So either way. But it's 7 plus 7, so he did do double damage, technically.
Technically.
Alright, it goes... Continues forward.
Does anyone have the Sword of Gryffindor I can borrow?
Oh, what?
Sword of Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Oh,
I can
okay.
borrow?
I mean, I've stolen a lot of things from Howler, I can check.
He did steal a pretty big sword.
I'm trying to remember. He did, yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not going to help you in this situation. So, you are backed up against the wall, and it is in front of you at this point.
Well, that stinks.
You can attack it one more time if you wish.
Yeah, might as well. I no other choice. I can't blast through a wall.
Alright.
But maybe it can.
Those both hit. Alright.
For some reason, I like 7s.
As it curls up to lift its head up, seeing you pinned against the wall, it opens its maw, and its sharp fangs come out. And you see, deep down in its throat, and
I'll just split it past that.
it lashes out towards you, and it's going to roll to hit.
There you go, me.
How
Does
much
10
suplex
hit
do you
you?
have, by the way?
What happened?
Does 10 hit you?
No.
Okay. So it lashes out towards you, but fortunately you had just enough room to dodge, and it bites the wall. Its mouth still open. You can see in its mouth. What do you want to
I
do?
want to shoot. I want to shoot that guy with the crossbow.
You want to shoot the guy in the throat that's
Yeah.
laughing at you?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead. Make an attack.
How do I do that? Let's do that. Where'd it go? Here it is.
That's Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
I mean, you can Eldritch Blast it if you want.
I'll go with that.
Alright. 20 hits, 13 misses. But roll the damage for 20. Alright. What was the damage you had before on it? From the natty 1 a while ago? 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you hear... And it goes... And you hear... As it explodes, and fortunately, the snake swallowed it, so it didn't blow you up. It just blew up the snake.
Talk about a jawbreaker.
So that worked out pretty well.
Cool.
And the snake's body is just guts everywhere.
Oh man, that means it's on me too.
Yep. You actually have 2 fangs embedded in the wall next to you.
Bling bling.
All right. Do I need a fang for later?
Possibly.
Should I try and pull one of the fangs out and take it with me?
Sure. Make a strength check.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it then.
Make an attempt anyway.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, Alison's pretty bad at strength, and he sometimes does it.
True.
And you actually manage to cut your finger on it. You take
Ouch.
1 poison damage and 1 piercing damage.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't the poison most of the time in the tip of the fang?
It exploded. So, this isn't a typical situation.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it did not come out of the wall.
Okay.
And
Oh, I tried.
as you start walking back, you see that there is 1 handle that is sitting in the middle of a scorch mark, and you see another handle that is thrown halfway down the hallway. Seems as though you were meant to do this.
Then I will go for the handles.
Alright, you grab the both of them, you head back down the snaking hallway, and you head back to the area where the handle was. You now see that there are 3 handles. 3 handle locations.
So I should put the handle into the hole then.
Yeah. You put the 2, I assume you're just going to do both.
Yeah, I do both, yeah.
Pull them down, you hear crashink, crashink. The door, the end of the hallway that you are currently in, opens on the other side.
Then I will go through that way.
Alright, you start heading towards that direction, and we'll cut back. So...
Yeah, I can stay for very much longer either today.
Okay. What I'll try to do is through the next little section, see if I can try to get you guys somewhere safe at least.
You could always keep on with
safe-ish,
this
yeah.
labyrinth after I leave anyways.
Yeah, that's true. So you guys are running away from a large anglerfish creature.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the closest person to it is Goroth, and it's going to try to get him. Going to try.
Gonna get you.
It's going to try.
I'm gonna get you.
12 to hit, so if it's gonna hit anything, it's hitting.
And unfortunately, it might just do that. Let's see. Just gonna lash out with a bite. No, that's obscene. Let's see. It's obscene as well. Do not want it. Okay, that's obscene as well. Okay, here we go. This makes more sense. It's gonna lash out with its bite. Wow. 10 to hit.
Wait, how many?
That misses actually, surprisingly.
So it gets towards you and is in melee range with you. And it just uses its really super long sharp teeth to lash out towards you. And fortunately enough, you just manage to fall into a pillowy cloud as it tries to bite you, and it doesn't bite you.
So, if I am correct, that anglerfish moved 400 feet in one turn.
No, not in one turn.
1.5.
Because you shot it, and then you ran away. And then he waited a long time, and then it moved.
Ah, okay.
Actually, we should have done initiative order, to be fair.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Okay.
Before it actually does that, but the turn will result in the same thing.
Hopefully. I'm going last. And DT.
Oh, wow.
Going earlier.
Wow! Look at that bonus and look at that result.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are really lucky here.
Well, not Aerosan.
Well, it could have just gotten a 32. I mean.
Yeah.
Or 30, I mean. Not 32, 30.
Well, DT is still outrunning it, so that's a good thing.
Alright. The only person... Oh, wait, Alatar is not able to fight. That's right. So he can't do anything.
I'm just floating around in circles.
Well, not anymore. You're just being held by DT.
And I may as well tell you this. The reason he's spinning around in circles is because he's trying to locate the thing that he's attempting to break the curse of, but it's on a different plane of existence. So
yeah.
It's sort of malfunctioning in that way.
It's just like a broken compass.
Yeah.
Sounds like me.
Gets to me, then I'm gonna shoot off a blast of fire. 14.
Just give me a second. I have to roll for Lily.
She has a 20, or she didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't select anything. But either way, she had a 22. So here's what she's gonna do.
I put 10 for
She's going to. She has nothing. She has nothing left.
Yeah, neither do we.
Not even ranged things she can do, perhaps?
How many hand axes does she have? Doesn't say.
Maybe
she has infinite hand axes, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe she has like a pouch that she just pulls hand axes from. Like, you can have hand axe, you can have hand axe, and especially
she
you.
Has two.
Oh.
She has two, okay.
I don't think she wants to lose them.
Yeah. And she has a... I don't know what that is. A dagger FR? Whatever that means.
For real?
I guess.
I'm
guess
just
it's
guessing.
a real dagger. It's just a real one. No, she's gonna jump off. DT, I think? No, she's gonna stay on. She's gonna wait until it gets closer. Because she has nothing.
Yes.
Let's see, how many spells is she supposed to have?
Probably like none at this point.
Yeah, but how many is she supposed to have?
It's a half caster, so not a lot.
No.
And yeah, they didn't level up
Because
the exile.
she doesn't have a spell tracker.
Oh,
So I don't know how she kept track
well,
of spells.
that's bad.
But either way,
Well,
she's gonna wait
Paladins
until it gets closer.
will have 3
Okay, that's good.
first.
I mean, she's just gonna wait until it gets closer, because she's at like half health, and she probably doesn't have much spells anyway. So,
Yeah.
she's gonna wait. This is what happens when you can't show up! I have no idea what you got, because I can't read your sheet.
Yeah, just like last time, kind of.
A little bit.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
have to sort the
Put
turn
this in
order as
correct
well.
order as well. That would be handy.
What? Sorry?
We're not in
Sort the
order,
turn
in
order.
turn order.
Okay.
There we go. So
Alright,
then,
Gorath.
yeah.
Yeah, so I did. I shot a fireball, then I got a 14.
That misses.
Okay.
It actually comes into contact with it, but it seems like it didn't do anything.
I'll keep moving then.
Alright. Full sprint. DT.
Keeps on going 120 feet.
Luckily, that's pretty fair.
Mm-hmm. Because he's not gonna stop.
Enemy turn, it says on the turn tracker, but I think that I rolled something. Well, I rolled 11, so it's pretty much the same number. And in the turn order, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
And Alatar can't do anything, and Howler isn't there, so I can just remove them, I guess.
For now.
I can just change this to 12 anyway, but it is fine. Enemy turn.
So, how long was it? Long time of Gorath? Like in turns? Or turn order?
Sorry?
So how many turns would have happened for Gorath to wait a long time for that big giant anglerfish to get close?
I was saying that he waited most of his turn.
Oh, so just one turn, okay.
So,
Because if it
enemy
was...
turn. Giant anglerfish moves. Let's see. It moves 200 feet on a regular movement. So it would have been like, wouldn't have been that far away from Gorath when it ended its last turn, because it would have double moved. So now it's going to regular move and bite him. It can move 200 in its one movement. So it just goes right to him, and it misses because that was the thing I rolled before.
Yeah.
Alright, Edo-san.
Also knows up his second bullet into his gun and fires the narcotic barrel with its magical bullet.
Alright, just so you know, you're robot-y again.
Oh, okay. Did you get what I was at?
Yeah, you can roll your thing first, if you want. Okay. 13 misses. just deflects off the side of it.
Okay, then I was just keep going, and I guess we should call it quits here because it's the end of our turn. And since me and God, I can't recall names. I'm really great at names.
Alright, sure, we can do that. But what I can do is if James has time, I can try to get you a little bit further through the labyrinth, if you want. And I hear nothing.
Sorry.
Reload, so I'm reloading, so be right back as well.
Alrighty.
Actually,
I can get
kinda
you a
gotta
little
go.
bit further through the labyrinth by yourself if you want.
Maybe another 10-15 minutes.
Alrighty.
So yeah, I will see you guys then.
Alrighty.
Have a good one, sir.
See you next week.
So
Alrighty.
we are quitting.
Well, me and James are gonna try to get a little bit further through the labyrinth, and if you want to see that, you can just rewatch.
Yeah, okay, if I can find the link, because I guess I will dig it up later.
I can send it in the Facebook group, my channel,
Okay.
and then you can find it later.
Okay, well, see you guys next week, unless we can do a Sunday again. I don't know.
We can talk about that later, but
That's totally up to you guys, because I'm available.
I know I'm working. I don't double check what time though.
okay. Well,
Okay.
type about it in the chat tomorrow. We'll have time.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you guys try and get out of the maze, so to say.
I'll try.
Yeah. And
I'm
don't try
not
to
doing
die,
Okay.
because I really don't want to have that guilt on my head.
It is your fault. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you already lost how many characters? Because I
didn't lose
know
any.
one.
But one person did die. That was in the
Yeah.
campaign so far.
That's not too bad.
As a result of my hand. That
Yeah.
is. I mean, people leaving the campaign, if they die, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, we're still live, by the way.
Yes, I was gonna go through with him.
Okay, well, bye.
So yeah. Alright. So you are still in the labyrinth. The door opens,
Mhm.
and you enter into what looks like a large room. At the end of this hallway. Almost impossibly large compared to the rest of the maze that you were in. Let's see. This room is a different color. The walls are bleak and gray rather than sandstone type color.
Okay.
Let's see. So, you enter this room. The doorway goes behind you. And you look around. The room seems relatively barren.
Relatively.
Yeah, you don't see anything nearby, at least. You might see a few things a little bit further away from you than you were able to comfortably see.
Okay.
That look kind of odd, but you're not there yet.
Then I'll go into the room more.
Alright, you start walking into the room, and you hear almost as if somebody's turning on a loudspeaker, like that type noise.
Okay. Yeah.
And you hear, "So, you've made it this far. I'm impressed. Any reaction?
Because obviously he's testing me or he's putting me up to a thing. So no, I want to hear. I want to keep hearing. I want to hear what he has to say.
All right. He goes, silent type, huh? All right. Let's see how this goes. In this room, there are 3 people. You only have the time to save one. Oh wait, wrong script. In this room, there are 5 monkeys. No, wait, that's not easy. And you hear papers rustling. And he says, what room are you in? He's asking you what room you're in.
The same one you are.
That can't be right. I don't see anyone. In this room, what's in the room? You hear him audibly go,
Couple of small things. That's about it.
small thing.
Haven't really looked at everything yet.
Are they rats?
Alright, I guess I should explore the room to see what we got.
That'll take time. And you hear him rustling papers, but you can do whatever you want. This is the weirdest curse I've ever encountered, and you haven't encountered all that many.
True. But it's still, yeah, good one.
So, you can look around.
Yeah, I'll look around, see what we got.
Alright. You see one small pile of something to the north, I'll say. The opposite way that you entered. You see one to your left and one to your right. And as you're looking, he's still like,
Let's go to the one on the left, see what it is.
Alright, you approach. Looks like a pile of rubble.
Okay.
Just a bunch of rocks misshapen in the middle of the floor. And he says,
I'll try the...
He says, you moved. What are you doing? What do you see?
Pile of rocks.
Pile of... And he starts leafing through more pages.
I'll try the pile behind me now.
Alright. So you went left, if I remember.
Yes, I'm
Now
gonna go
you're
right.
going to the right one. Alright. Another misshapen pile of rocks. And he goes,
Alright.
you're solving the puzzle without me, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing?
You asked me to see what's in the room, so I'll see what's in the room.
Oh, so you aren't solving the puzzle. Well, what's in there?
So far, 2 piles of rocks.
All right. That's not anything I've ever written about. You hear him leaf through another couple pages, and he's like, not even in the table of contents.
Huh. So I guess what are you trying to figure out? I'm gonna look at that last pile to the north.
All right. You head up there. Another pile of misshapen rocks.
Okay, so there used to be something.
He speaks to you. You're going all over the place. You must know what the puzzle is. You must be lying to me.
Going to assume that these rock piles used to be something.
You hear him leaf through a couple more pages. I don't have any traps made of rock. This is weird.
You're telling me?
This can't be right. Oh, this is the problem. And you hear, and you hear, as from above you, you see a cage being lowered down. Very, 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 very slowly. And he's like, I forgot to set up the test. Made it through too quickly, I guess. And then about 20 minutes after he started lowering the cage finally reaches the ground. And he says, here, get in the cage. And you hear, and the cage door opens.
So I guess I get in the cage.
Alright? He says, test must be on another floor. As he starts fiddling with something, you
I
hear,
gotta answer a phone call real quick.
okay. That'll give me time.
Uh-huh. What's going on?
I'm shopping right now. Are you at home?
Yes.
Okay, I have protein bars.
Uh-huh.
I have another protein shake that's soy.
Uh-huh.
I got some pizzas. I got measuring cups that are like $1.25 each.
Okay.
Because we're going through those really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I got a big old thing of strawberries.
Cool.
My mom is picking out 4 avocados.
Nice.
There's some other stuff on the shopping list we wanted. I cannot remember what they are.
Well, butter was on it, but I would hold off on the butter for now.
I'm holding off on the butter so you can pick out the butter.
Yeah.
I don't use butter.
Yeah, that's what I'm holding off on it to try and find like a.
Can you look at the list and say what else I need to get?
It was undershirt, just bottle brush, and your whisk thingies.
Bottle brush with what else was there?
That's pretty much it for like. Well, what store are you at?
Can you send me a picture of it? Because I have an old picture and I realized we updated it.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye. Sorry about that.
I could hear that whole thing.
Yeah, she's like, I'm at the store. Like, what do you mean? It's like, well, but she's like, I got this, I got that, I got this. I'm like, okay, but this is on the list. That's on the list. Oh.
All right. Well,
Okay, so the cage, different level. Wrong floor for the test. Got it.
yes. And he goes, which floor? And he sounds like he's fiddling around with something. And
Okay.
while you're waiting for him, I'm going to get you to make an intelligence check.
Told you, I got a D in school.
All right. So, make a perception check.
I'm better at that.
All right. You look up at the ceiling, and since you got a natural 20, I'm going to give you a little bit extra.
Okay.
Then what might have been helpful before. You look up at the ceiling. The cage doesn't seem to go up to anywhere. Not only that, you see, since you've got such a good perception check, you look up and you see what looks like something shining at the top of where the cage would go. You also notice a very small hole at the top of the cage.
Hmm.
The
So maybe I
cage
shouldn't
door
get.
isn't shut yet.
Then I want to get out of the cage.
All right? And he goes, What? What are you doing? Get back in the cage. You have to go to the test.
But the cage doesn't go anywhere.
Yes,
wanna
it
lock me up.
does. Where do you think the cage came from?
Under the ceiling.
So you think I'm trying to trick you?
Well, you're trying to test me, so yes, you don't think you're trying to trick me.
Interesting. Well, I guess I'll have to bring the test to you. And you hear a and you look up. That shiny bit that was on the ceiling before
Mhm.
is actually getting closer to you. Or, yeah, it's getting closer to you. And as you continue looking up, it is revealed that on the ceiling is a series of spikes. He
Of
says,
course.
Didn't want to have to do it this way. And you hear what sounds like a ka-chink noise, and the spikes continue to come down. And he says, if you would have just gotten the cage, you would have been able to take the test. Now you'll just have to die. Is that what you want?
Hmm. And I guess I'll go back in the cage.
Alright, you climb back in the cage. He goes, yes, now we can do the test. And the ceiling is still moving down.
Hmm. I'll stay in the
Give you a
cage for
couple
now.
seconds to think on that.
No, I'll stay in the cage. See what happens.
Alright. He says, oh, where's the button? And he hits a button. Suddenly, the door to the cage swings closed.
Okay.
And he says, well, this is the test. You ready? The ceiling is still moving down.
Okay, so this is the test, huh?
You look in around the cage, since you made such a good perception check before. The cage is kind of like one of those stereotypical square cages that has the bars on it that hold the bottom apart.
Yeah.
And there's a metal pole on the top that lifts the cage up. Actually, no, that's wrong. There's 4 chains on each corner because there's a hole in the middle that has something shiny going towards it. So it seems like it would get pulled up. But the bars themselves, there's probably enough room for you to get out if you wanted to. So the door is seems kind of symbolic.
So there's a hole in the middle and the top. Okay. Then I'll stay against the side with the door.
Alright.
The door's symbolic.
The voice says, "For now, you already stand within the center of the elevator. You know that there's a shiny, probably pointy object that is going to slot into that hole in the middle of the chamber.
Possibly,
Of
yeah.
this cage. So I'll give you a minute to think about that. The voice comes over the loudspeaker again. Why aren't you going to the middle?
I'll go to the middle. For now.
He says, there you go. The test shall begin. And you hear a clicking sound, and the elevator begins to rise up, and the ceiling is still coming down. You think that you have 2 or 3 turns to do anything if you wanted to, before the thing collides with the spikes. The voice says, this is the test. Soon you will pass. Are you ready for your glory?
I'll stay in the middle for now.
Alright. I'll give you 2 more turns to try to do something, if you wish. The voice returns. Your glory will be astonishing. The rats will worship you. Even those who do not know you currently will hear of your legends. Is this what you wish?
Yeah. I'll wait one more turn in the middle, see what happens.
Alright. One more turn. It looks as though you look up. It's a definite longer spike. It's a spike that's longer than the other ones, which is why you noticed it when all the other ones were shrouded in darkness. It looks like it is going to impale the section of the elevator that is in the center before the other spikes would reach. And in this moment, make one more intelligence check. Give you one more chance to see if you actually managed to do it. So, you have a feeling that that spike, if you don't stand near it, the other spikes won't be able to touch the floor. So you wouldn't die from the other spikes, as long as you laid on the floor.
Okay. Well, I guess I can.
And the voice pipes up again. Are you ready for your ascension to godhood? Those who only dream of this day will never achieve it. Are you prepared for that day?
I really don't want to die, so.
So you have one turn to react. It seems like this is his last attempt to say anything before.
Alright, I can try and blast the door open and Yeah, and get out. That's all I can
All
do.
right. Sure, you can attempt to do that. Roll the hit. 14 hits a stationary door, 10 hits a stationary door.
Cool. Middle.
10. It's 5 and 10. It's just that the
Hit
other one is critical.
yeah, so it's 10, yeah.
Yeah. So, the door blasts open with your second blast. He says, "What about your ascension?"
No, I'm good. I don't want to die just yet.
Alright, so what do you do?
I'm gonna go ahead and get out and lay down.
Alright, you get out the door, you're about 30 feet up.
Well, I have no rope. I have.
You do know that if you jump 30 feet, you'll just take 3d6 damage.
Yeah, I'll
So
just
you
jump.
could survive it.
Yeah, I'll just jump.
Alright. You take, in your physical form, $13 damage
Cool.
as you slam into the floor, which is just as hard as concrete. You jump 30 feet down into concrete, basically. The fact that your character doesn't have a broken limb is
Amazing.
astonishing. But you're fine. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna lay down.
All right. He says. The voice. You see the elevator rise up. The spike goes through the hole in the top, but then it keeps going since you aren't in it, and it seems to impact and crush into the upper spikes, and pieces of it fall to the floor. And the guy says, "What about your ascension? Don't you care about godhood? Don't you want to be the savior of these creatures?"
No, I don't want to be a god.
"Fine, lay there and die for all I care." The thing comes down. A little more. You have 2 more turns to react if you want to. I'll give you an option if you want to last minute just dive under that spike or whatever. So I'll give you a chance to do anything you want to do.
Offer it.
So what do you want to
The
do?
door closed. I can't blast my way out.
The elevator is crushed, so that option is no longer an option, if you'll forgive my redundancy there.
Oh, that's cool. Seems like there's no way out.
But like I said, your character is aware that if you lay down and you aren't near that one spike, the other spikes won't be able to touch you unless if something
True.
happens to that bigger spike.
Well, I'll kind of crawl away from where that big spike is at.
Alright? You're
So I'm not by it.
sufficiently away. The bigger spike is not going to touch you unless if you want it to. So you'd
No,
have to
cool, then
crawl back in order to get to it.
No, then I'm good. I'll just wait, see what happens.
Alright, the voice says, "But what about your friends? Don't you care about them at all?" And then suddenly you see, let's see. Actually, you see, Ost appear underneath the spike. And Ost is offering a hand out to you. Your friend who is already dead. So you know that this probably isn't him.
True.
But he reaches his hand out to you and he says, "Come, be a god with me."
No, I'm good. I'll stay where I'm at.
Alright, the spike goes into Ost's head and it looks gruesomely real. As Ost's head is violently penetrated, goes right through his chin, and he somehow is just sort of able to still talk to you somehow. And he says, "Glory and honor. Join me." You have one more turn to attempt to impale yourself if you wish.
No, I'm good. I don't want to be impaled.
Fair enough. The other spikes start coming down through Ost's armor that you remember Ost wearing. And you just hear the gruesomely, sickeningly realistic as Ost is impaled, and the spike hits the bottom of the floor, the other spikes stop, and you hear and the voice echoes in again. You aren't willing to give up much for your goal of curing these creatures. You weren't even willing to take the prize of being their god. What is your goal?
To help others, but I don't need to be a god to do that.
So some sort of middle ground there.
Yeah.
Fair choice. And suddenly a bright light shines in front of you. And suddenly you see something that we will have to determine in the next session.
Alright, cool.
To determine where you are. So you managed to pass the test, though you are on a different plane of existence. It seems. It seems that you passed the test anyway, because the voice that was talking to you seemed fine with your choice. But you have no idea what the results are because you'll be on a different plane of existence. So you'll have to try to get back to find out what happened.
Okay.
So that is where we'll end off.
Listen, this week I'll be